Lock up the entrance with brick and جلست هنا مسدي لصوت المطر أفكر ما الذي حصل لحالي طوال سنوات مثل أناس كثر يضيع مني العمر ولا أبالي قد سئمت من التفكير قد حان وقت التغيير قد طال شوقي لغد لي مبتسم لنغني ما أجمل الحياة فكل شيء يحيا بالأمل فلننسى ما فات ونبني لنا مستقبلا أفضل إلى متى سوف أظل تائها أنأى شيئا فشيئا عن حلمي لا لن أبقى هكذا مكبل اليدين فأنا أحس بالحنين لنفسي لا 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 يأس بعد الآن لا تقل فات الأوان فليكن يومك أحلى مما كان لنغني ما أجمل الحياة فكل شيء يحيا بالأمل فلننسى ما فات ونبني لنا مستقبلا أفضل
Hello, welcome in. Happy Halloween, everybody. Good to see you guys. I don't really need these. I don't have a Halloween costume. If somebody wants to donate money, we will do, I guess, I'll wear the chicken head for the rest of the stream, including when I play Skyrim later. So we got a couple things we're getting into today. Keep my rose-colored shades on for the time being. Good to see you guys. So we do have a collab stream that we're going to be doing today once we actually get into the content. So we've got streamer, friend of the stream, Emery, has been going over some of the same shit that we've been going over in terms of... Welcome in. Oh, good to see you. Ryle, good to see you. Saddam, good to see you guys. So, wow, a lot of the viewers are probably pretty familiar with this streamer in particular, but I don't think I've actually covered him on stream yet. So, Hutch is a guy who sees himself as a gatekeeper of the left, so to speak. He's a streamer who got pretty popular doing Call of Duty streams for a while, and I don't actually, I didn't follow him when he got into politics. I remember that I started watching him a little bit, like, after, so, what was it, like 2023, I started watching a couple left-wing streamers, even people like Vosh and Dylan Burns, and I think that Hutch was one of the people that I watched after I started watching Destiny, and I just found myself getting too pissed at Destiny streams every single day to actually, like, be able to sit through it properly. So Hutch was more like, I don't know, he was more, wait, why do I have a doubled up? Do I have a doubled up? I need to fucking take these goddamn glasses off. Do I have a fucking doubled up, chat for some reason? Why do I? Yes, I do. Get rid of one of them. Okay, now we're fine. Welcome in, guys. Anyways. So, Hutch is one of those streamers on the left wing that I'm noticing a growing trend of lately, where he is a guy. He didn't necessarily get into politics streaming because he has any particular background in politics. He's fairly... I don't even want to say that he's good at putting together a thought. Hutch is somebody who has some life experience with, like, I guess he has, like, past addiction that he sometimes talks about getting over. He can relate to people when it comes to that. But for the most part, he's just kind of a dude. So, we're gonna start off today. Actually, I'll probably go ahead and see if Emery is ready to call, and we can get into this. So... Also, yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Good to see you. I look way cooler with my sunglasses, or everything in my OBS looks way cooler with my sunglasses on. This is the right one. No, I didn't set up worm cam. That's what the problem is here. Oh, so we need to get rid of this shit. It's spooky season. We got the fucking pumpkin and everything. Because I didn't apply a red filter generally to everything. 4 minutes and he's ready, okay. He subbed all of his addictions for her son. So yeah, I think that he's also somebody, so Hutch is also somebody who talks a lot about having ADHD. So I've watched him in the past, and I found myself relating to him. He's a little bit vulgar. Sometimes he does the American thing where he talks about shit a little bit too much. He talks about, like, the size of his cock and stuff like that. So, you know, there's definitely a little bit of a gamer bro affect to his streams. But something that I'm noticing a lot lately is that, one, he talks a lot about this liberal left-wing divide going on in politics online. And he attributes a lot of animosity and, like, he basically says that he seems to frame everything as left-wing policy is unpopular. Even if he will say that individual people who call themselves democratic socialists or who call themselves socialists, aren't a hazard politically, he seems to have a inbuilt aversion to anything that is different from what the Democratic Party has been doing, running on and failing to win elections, barely even winning elections against Trump in the case of, you know, his disastrous COVID response. So I've wanted to get on his stream for a while and ask him personally why he sees himself as an effective gatekeeper. But what we're going to show today, we're going to go through some clips first. There was a community member, not a community member, like a Twitter kind of like mutual of mine who has been going on Hutch's stream a couple times now. He had a kind of meh performance the other day where he came on and tried to talk to him about his reporting on Plattner, but Hutch being like so shit at keeping a thought together kind of ended up detracting the conversation this way and that way, and I don't really think they ended up meeting up on it one way or the other, so I don't really want to cover too much of that, but we're going to go over clips. So I'm going to get that set up real quick, and then Emery is going to let me know when he's ready. So we're on... Oh, okay, so we do actually have... Oh, it's just that I put this all the way here. That's why. Is it? It's not locked, is it? No. I'm such a good streamer. I'm an amazing streamer, by the way. I'm like I'm amazing at this, generally. Um, we're almost there. When my scenes get fucked up, I was messing with them a lot. Right before stream, which is probably the problem. So, all right, there we go. So we can log him a lot, and I've wanted to cover specific clips of him saying really stupid stuff. Like, he's the sort of person that will just randomly opine on stream, like, do babies feel pain? And chat will have to remind him that yes, babies can feel pain. He'll often mix up, like, he'll say idioms and he'll mix up things like Judas and Brutus, and he'll make a like mixed metaphor of the two, and it'll take him a couple minutes to even notice what he's done. You know, like, I just get the feeling that, like, even if he's a thoughtful guy, like, he thinks a lot, I don't know of the quality of thought, because it seems like he can't necessarily string together a coherent thought. Which, like I said, as an ADHD person, I can relate to. Oh, Emery's calling. Hello, Emery. Oh, why can't I hear you? It's not great. 1 second. Oh, I probably know why. Oh, it's because it always fucks up. One moment, actually. No, that one should be correct. Sing 1, 2, 3. Say something. Oh wait, is your volume? No, your volume's not all the way down. You're not muted. Your thing is lighting up, but you're not. I don't hear you. Why the fuck? Why don't I always have on-stream problems like this? Only ever on stream. All right, let me try. Oh no, maybe it's working. I still can't hear you. I assume you can hear me just fine. I wish I had somebody else to test with to see if it's just like, I think it is on my end, because like I said, your thing is lighting up. Fuck. Give me like 2 seconds to try to troubleshoot.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah, well, Vodka with the playlist. I have a much longer set of songs and like background stuff, but you know, I made a smaller playlist for the stuff that I want to consistently play instead of just random songs. Wait, what's up? What
else could it be?
The primary songs over here. I can give you the artists or whatever. And then I was playing Kilo Kish. With the trapping song. Why is it acting up? Why does it do that? And then I was playing Earl Sweatshirt. That one's called E-Par. And then there was VCR Wheels this is from like old ass Tyler the Creator. It's like from the first Project Bastard. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Drop the link in Discord. Yeah, I do have a music area, don't I? I think I do. I do. Yeah, I can just link these.
Okay, there's definitely something going fucky here. Because It's something with my headphones, actually. I might have fixed it. I'm gonna try again. Help to fucking Christ, this works. Say something?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, thank you. You're really loud, but it's finally working. Okay, it was a problem with my headphones. I was trying to, like, figure it out. I have another set. I don't have it on. It shouldn't be, it's not even out of its case, but for some reason I think it's, connecting or something. So I had to, like, manually disconnect it and make it not auto reconnect. I'm sorry about that. I apologize sincerely. Hello, welcome to the stream, Emery, and happy to be on your stream as well. Thank you.
No problem, no problem.
Sorry,
I figured, you know, same timing. I was doing a relaxing stream anyway. I figured I didn't want to completely half-ass it, but you know, it wasn't like it was going to be like super long or serious today. Depending, I mean, it could go long. Who knows? Who knows with an Emery stream? But you know,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go off into the night as well. I'm gonna start off with something that I figured you'd want to cover too, which is the Tony Hutch situation.
Can we do a super small segment from my stuff real quick?
Yeah,
very small.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like an appetizer segment. I think this is fitting. I can share my screen with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do that. So, you know, Tactical Templar? No? Yes?
Yes, actually, I was gonna cover him. Let me actually set this up on my end real quick. Yeah, but yes.
So,
I am familiar.
just for shits and giggles, every blue moon, and only twice now. The second time, you know, the first time I baited, I didn't get a response from Tactical Templar. Second time, I've gotten a response from him, and this is pretty funny. So I remember he said something about like marital rape not existing. Pretty gross.
He's one of those guys, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I baited him in his YouTube chat. So, like, here's a little clip from that. Tectone's favorite Christian YouTuber, Templar's Voice, doesn't believe marital rape exists. There's no such thing as marital rape. When you get married under the church, you become one body. So when you get married, consent is implied. Let's hear him say it.
Married live.
And he was calling me names and everything. He was very upset. He was very upset with me. I was very nice to him. I was saying, I love your take on marital rape. It's very awesome. I'm a big fan of yours. You know?
Yeah.
Married live.
Surprise.
Says, I'm a huge fan, Templar. I especially love your takes on marital grape. Have you ever participated in the act? If so, I salute you. What the?
So I was like, I salute you if you've ever raped your wife. If you ever maritally raped your wife.
Yeah. I guess.
I salute you, sir.
Wait,
I
don't know why he's so mad at me. Why is he so mad at me?
The fuck are you talking about? I love your take on marital grape. There is no such thing as marital grape. When you get married under the church, you fucking inbred invalid retard. When you get married under the church, you become one body, one flesh. So when you are married, consent is implied.
So they like one body, one flesh. It's like both the woman and the man. They become non-binary, like combined transformer, I guess. You know?
God, what's so insidious about this guy is that like some of his clips I've watched, and he's actually like he can be kind of funny, but also he does have some absolutely fucking insane takes. Like holy shit. You know, I have to remind people sometimes that, you know, marital rape was only outlawed in all 50 states in the same year that I was born. You know, like I'm not that old. So like, yeah, like fuck. Yeah, that's crazy. This guy is
Well,
I'm really happy that the fat edits are getting to him, and yeah, I haven't checked out the Queen stuff today.
the
But
fat
yeah.
edits are amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? He's mostly funny in a sense of like poking at the locale, and he's like really, really, really funny. Like the way he responds, it's like so overly sensitive that it's just like humorous at nature. It's not like Nick Fuentes funny, where like Nick Fuentes like is more of a threat because he's like sincerely funny. It's like, oh, look at the loser, and then like look at how he responds, and he can say some things that are kind of funny in that response, but it's mostly just like poking fun at the loser.
In the case of Nick Fuentes, you're saying?
Yeah, Nick Fuentes can be unironically funny. Like he has an actual sense of humor where there's like that's
Right,
part of
yeah.
the problem is that he can be actually charismatic unironically. That's part of the threatening thing is that he can be unironically funny and attract people to his positions or his show because of that factor alone. That's the problem.
I see. Yeah, that's that's fair. That's what I worry about with a lot of right-wing grifters. Like, a lot, or like, you can call them grifters. You can just call them like propagandists. But they benefit from like they almost weaponize this sort of thing that appeals to a lot of people. The right-wing populists, like this guy, he's a Christian nationalist, whatever. But there's a lot of iterations of this that go along the same line of, oh, you should have a family, you should breed women, you should whatever, like, and it's just so. It's so fucking weird, man. Like, I hate, like, when people start talking like that around me. Like, I don't know how it feels for you, but for me especially, it just kind of makes me feel like do you see me as, like, some sort of fucking breeding sow? Like, what the hell? Also, what the hell? Is that your audio or mine, the background noise? It's like ambient.
Oh, it's probably my audio. Sorry, I'm eating.
PS2. No, it's like ambient PS2 audio.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's my music background. Sorry.
Oh,
you can hear it on my thing. We can turn it off for now if you don't like
That's
it.
fine. It's chill. It's all right. I was just making sure I wasn't like having a stroke or something. So yeah,
keep it in the thing. I like it.
Sorry for disrupting your quick segment, but yeah,
Oh,
that
you're
guy
good.
is yeah.
We're almost done. Hey, we got about a minute left on his quote real quick.
A wife doesn't need consent to grab her husband's butt.
So, to be fair, there is a technical truth to some aspect of this where there is a general willingness to be more open about stuff like that happening. There's usually a general implied consent about, a little bit more touchy-feely things.
Yeah, like
That being said.
Yeah, and you have boundaries with people too. Like obviously not
Yeah.
everybody's going to be okay. I was just watching a fucking video the other day, this lady on TikTok who was saying like, "Hey, I've broken up with people just for touching me too much without, asking me first." People have different boundaries, like even if you marry somebody, it doesn't mean that you inherently get consent. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, somebody could be a little bit, more of a touchy-feely type person.
Mhm.
And then the other person could not be used to that or not as comfortable with that for whatever set of reasons. It doesn't even matter why. But,
Yeah.
they can nicely say and set a boundary of, hey, I don't like it when you do this as often here, or set like a specific boundary. Just communicate like how you're feeling about it. Work it out with your partner. There's
Not to
clearly
mention-
boundaries like that could be established beforehand as well.
So yeah, so I might have missed it. How did the concept of specifically the phrasing marital rape come up in the discussion with this guy?
Well, I don't remember exactly. It was something. I remember he said you couldn't maritally. There was no such thing as like breaking the consent of having sex with your wife or whatever without her. Like there was no such thing as like no consent with like a married couple. I remembered that. And I don't remember specifically where, but I was like, yeah, I know this happened. So I just brought it up as a funny, humorous joke here.
Yeah,
And I was
'cause,
just I really like your take on marital rape. And, he just, reestablished his take here, which I already knew beforehand that, yeah, like there is no such thing as, this breaking of consent when you're in a marriage, because once you get married, there's an implied you can always just have sex with me. Like, it's just a stupid fucking take. It's just like, the dumbest way of approaching. It's an objectifying. Obviously, it's a very misogynistic, like sexist kind of approach. Kind of misandrous too, maybe possibly, because
It's more
like
yeah.
I guess he could go down the route of a woman could never really break a man's consent in this aspect. I'm not sure. So
Well, I mean, I don't know if he has the legal take on rape that like a woman can't technically. I don't know. Like, it's very weird. Basically, if you're talking specifically about the concept of marital rape and consent between a couple, obviously, like you said, there is an inherent, like any sort of couple, not even a married couple, has a sort of level of comfortability. But that's kind of what is it? Is this even a Mott and Bailey where he has the more reasonable position, which is that obviously you're comfortable enough with your partner to be physically intimate with them without explicitly asking consent, but also to say that so your wife can't say that she revokes her consent. Essentially, that's what I would ask him specifically. Is do you think a wife has the right to revoke her consent? Because like what if a woman just wants to deny sex? Like there's plenty of reasons for that to be the case, you know? People have different libidos. It's crazy. I really want to like explore what the fuck his actual psychology is on this, because this guy is like, I think he's a joke, but he is dangerous. Like this is
yeah, I'm going with the presumption that when he says there's no such as marital rape, I think it's implied with what he's saying there is that a woman can never just like actually resist and actually feel raped or whatever. Like actually feel raped, like she's not allowed to.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, she's not allowed to do that because what you like got into this marriage for a reason or whatever. Like it's implied. You're supposed to be a dedicated like woman or whatever. Yeah.
Like you people are so fucking stupid. By the way, Emery Live, you're never gonna be married, so what the fuck does it matter to you? You're never gonna be in that position. So
wait, so like, but I would be the man in the relationship. So like, if like, look, I'm not saying whether or not I'll ever get. I don't know about marriage. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of marriage in the first place. That being said, and the hypothetical of me getting married, it would apply to me. Like whether or not I could, you know, feel good about doing something like that to somebody else. Like. It would affect my psychology or whatever. Not also, you know,
it's just a crazy deflection.
Like it affects
just a crazy
me.
Fucking
like
deflection.
You're wait. Here's the problem with what he's encouraging. He's encouraging people to actually do this, and then throwing men under the bus by doing so. This is not like it's not legal. It's not legal yet. Templar, you're influencing people to do crimes. Do you love crime? Do you love rapists? I guess you do.
Well, he's just encouraging a culture of silence, that women who are like, if you want to be considered a godly woman, that you have to be subservient to your man, and therefore, even if like a man violates you, and you feel violated, that it's not technically rape because under God you should like. It's just so fucking bullshit. It's crazy. Let's keep going.
Yeah. What does it matter to you? Under the church, you are unified as one flesh. You have no understanding of what I'm talking about. You're a typical garbage tier, bottom feeding, low IQ, low value piece of shit. You are
Wait a second,
loser.
can you pause? I just Saddam is in my chat, and she just made a really good. I think it's I think they are a she. Let's see if he still feels that way when his wife wants to peg him regarding being one flesh. That's a really fucking good point. Can you not revoke your consent about that?
That is a good point. You have to do what the wife, happy wife, happy life. But like, he's not gonna do that. He would never do that, because he would be like, "Oh, that's sexual degeneracy." That's what he would say. That's what he would say. It's like the wife is never supposed to top or whatever. It would just be some like, you know, really. It's actually gayer than being pegged. It's actually gayer than being pegged. Is like just doing this like you know, I always have to be in control at all times. Like, you know, your pussy has to be open at all times, you know. I just have to have control of you in every single way, shape, or form, because I'm that insecure. I'm that much of a loser.
It's miskiff level insecurity. Like, you have to fucking make somebody else like your pawn because you're a tiny little person. Yep.
You don't understand any of the context of this. You are interested in an internet gotcha, but even if you were to get an internet gotcha, it would do you no good because you are so loathsome. Nobody wants anything to do with you.
Damn, he's hitting to the core of me. He's hitting to my soul.
Emery,
Damn,
I'll
bro.
marry you just to like maritally deny you sex, just so that you can get an own on this guy. Honestly, like at this point,
True.
this is just such
Yeah.
a stupid fucking burn. What the hell? You're never gonna get to rape your wife. Like what the fuck?
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, crazy
Listen,
shit.
how does this apply to you? You're never ever going to be a rapist like me. Okay. Nice burn.
People are freaks. You don't understand what I was saying because you're too dumb.
I've said this before, but like, man, I feel like I've seen like the verbiage of like the R slur or like freaks or whatever. Like we've kind of like, I don't know. Like those were fun to use, and they're still fun to use to some extent, but they get ruined by like losers like this, and it's just like, damn, bro.
True.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like I think
You-
when I watch enough Not So Erudite, sometimes I catch myself like calling people the R slur, and I'm just like, you know, or retard. I think I can still say that on Twitch. Fuck, I'm
They
small
ruined
enough
the
that I think I can
pedo
get away with
mostly.
anything.
It's like, fuck, man.
You are loveless, sad, fat, pathetic sacks of garbage. You would never understand marriage under the church. No, of course you can't rape your wife because you and your wife become one.
Wait.
Do you get, like,
could
psychic
you rape
powers?
yourself? Are you raping yourself? Like it would be one. We're both one, right? At that point, so you'd be like raping yourself.
You'd be self-raped.
Can you
yeah,
never
for sure.
violate yourself?
Yeah. But he's making it sound like when you like join the church, you get psychic powers with your wife. Like you have some divine knowledge where you understand her consent. You know, because you're one flesh, so you don't even have to ask. Like, what does this even mean? This is such a fucking.
I like that. Like, there's enough history to kind of prove that doesn't like really work out very well, because like a lot of women would respond to like being trapped in a loveless marriage where they couldn't actually get out, and that like they would probably have to be like raped, like because it was like not seen as a crime or whatever. They would try to get out of it any way possible, and they would be willing to like poison their food or whatever to like get out of the marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think it's exactly the healthiest for even a man. And like,
love
but
that
that's not
anecdote, yeah.
that's not to say like, oh, I'm worried about the man's safety, the rapist's safety. I'm just saying pragmatically wise, like even in your own like selfish mind, it's not really long-term beneficial, is it?
You and your wife are one flesh. That's what the Bible talks about. The secular marriage that you talk about is not actual marriage. So fuck you. You're a freak. You're a loser for all time. You're gonna die alone.
Damn, man.
Okay, I would ask this guy as well. Are marriages under other religions, like are any sort of bonding ceremony under other religions valid, like to you? Like, I guess he's a crusader. It makes sense. He's literally a fucking crusader. Like, he's waging a holy war. He doesn't think anything is valid. What am I even
Is
asking?
JD Vance's wife like his wife? Because it's like an interfaith marriage. Is that like a real relationship to Templar?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Like,
Is that
we consider
legitimate?
this?
Yeah. You know, when
My only real criticism of JD Vance is otherwise he's based, but he married an Indian woman. Is she Indian or Hindu or something like that? And yeah, she's like interfaith, and that's not really based, is it?
when he has sex. So yeah, if JD Vance rapes his wife, is he actually raping her? Because it's not an actual. Jesus.
Well,
this is horrible. But yeah, let's see.
Let me read chat real quick, and then we can move on to the Hutch thing.
No problem at all.
Okay. Let's see. I am open and touchy-feely. I came in at the perfect time, apparently. Sup, chat? What's up, Parker? Who gives a shit about what the church thinks gay marriage exists too? Well, we'll see about that with the Supreme Court opening it up. Oh my god. What a hellscape we live in.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
No worries at all. So I was going to go over the...
also seems to enjoy your content from what I've gleaned.
Wait, it's sorry, something's playing. So I have I was going to go over the Tony tweet thread. I can pull that up, or I can stream that for you.
Let me. I have to share my thing with the audience now. I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out how I revert that. I think I know.
You're good.
It may accidentally show some of your DMs, but it's nothing super crazy.
Yeah, I think we're good. I usually I always try to do a pop out so that it doesn't it's not an issue. But yeah, I'm gonna stream my own shit too.
Can seek a keybind, toggle, enable, hide personal information, I think if I click this off, it shows it, doesn't it? It does now. Yeah, cool. All right. It really is as simple as that. Okay, cool. Stop watching. Should be able to see the screen. Oh, full view. There we go. Full view.
Sweet.
Let me
that you
double
can see
check.
my-
It should be on screen. Yep, it's cool. It's all set.
All right, cool. So yeah, we have the start of this after Tony had his kind of meh interaction and your unfortunate your prejudiced interaction with Hutch afterwards. Tony did tweet, after cowering from Queeman and demanding he repeat Hutch's delusion that he isn't a Destiny orbiter, Hutch is making up doxing allegations against Queeman's community. Some liar, not so erudite, told him privately. Does Hutch forget it was Bad Empanada who posted this info? So anybody who's not familiar, yeah, regarding this, it's so the Bad Empanada, are they talking about Willie Mac's wife docs there, or somebody else? Or no, I think, yeah, because I guess Hutch got docs around the same time, right?
If I recall correctly, Bad Empanada released some information about who was taking money from, I think, was it Progressive Victory?
Right, Progressive Victory. But technically, Progressive Victory is the one that fucked up with the filing. It wasn't even Bad Empanada.
Yeah,
So,
but like Bad
yeah.
Empanada made that clear and known, and some information. I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact information, but there was some information that was kind of sensitive that he just had on screen.
Right.
And so it was BE who posted anything related to any potential docs information.
Yeah.
So
we'll watch the clip then here.
Kui Kui also seems to enjoy your
I'm
content.
turn it
from
up
what
a
I've gleaned.
tiny bit more.
I
It's not
Okay.
like super low. Wait,
And
hold on.
just
Let
to
me
be
see if
clear,
my-
all I
no,
know
it's
is
me. There
Kuimon
it is.
is like dead set in his mind that the reason that I won't have a conversation with him is that I'm like afraid of his debate skills. He's like very convinced. Sometimes clips land on my feed, and it was literally just that I just like people started spreading my docs like shortly before I was set to have a conversation with this person. And this was after somebody else
You pause there?
privately reached out to me and said,
Yeah.
watch out.
So that's what we call from like It's Always Sunny, the implication.
Yeah.
What do you think he's saying there? He's like, curious. When Queeman offers to chat with me and I deny Queeman a chat, a little bit after that, or a little somewhere around that timeline, my docs information gets out.
From a complete.
Who do you think he's blaming?
Yeah.
You know?
That is kind of crazy.
Out for that community because they're kind of crazy and they dox people and it's like very toxic. And I was like, I'll be fine. And then before I even had
I don't think there's even been I don't think there's been, if many like confirmed doxings from Queeman's community specifically. Like that's kind of weird to say that this community specifically is known for, especially given that he associates with people and has them in his chat and has them on his stream, like Not So Erudite, who like what's his opinion of Lonerbox these days? I assume he has a fairly good relationship with him. And Lonerbox has Stardust
Who,
as his
Queeman?
no, Hutch.
I think it's good. Last I checked.
Because Stardust is Hutch's editor, and Stardust docs reposted a face docs from like a AI scanning website. I don't really remember. I don't want to like reference the website that it was, but from Dan Saltman, of somebody who was just, I think, criticizing Stardust, or no, they had like an argument about some semantic about like him sharing some detail and her thinking that it made him like an inherently dangerous person, and like it was really dumb. But yeah, like it's just crazy to think that what specifically is so volatile about Queeman's community that like that's why we're gonna get into it, but I think that there are some really good points were brought up against Hutch today regarding
Have the
this.
conversation.
If I wanted to be ultra charitable and Steelman a little bit,
Hmm.
to be fair, to some extent, if you are either intentionally ignorant, like willfully ignorant, or just ignorant of like how the commentary community operates, how Queeman operates, or JStalk or anything like that, and you're sent a message by somebody that at least you like, I think it was like not so right, someone that you trust, you might be more committed to this idea of like prioritizing. Well, if this person tells me this, the steer clear, I'm willing to take them on their word.
Right.
That being said, it is weird to operate, like publicly at least, as if this is for sure the case when you haven't even looked into it yourself to be able to verify that like this person in their community has a pattern of doxing. It'd be one thing if you took their word for it, and in private you're like, okay, I'm just probably just not going to associate as much as possible. It's another thing to like blatantly just be saying publicly to your audience and implying that like there's a history of doxing there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense entirely, and
Yeah.
signaling that that's explicit reason. Like, if you want to keep that private and just say, listen, there's just like a aspect of that community that I don't want to interact with. Like, I could even say that there's explicit reasons that I don't want to interact with tons of people, and I'm just like, nah, it's just not for me, and it's my freedom of association. Fuck you, you know, like, man. All right, let's finish up this clip.
That happened. I was like, okay, well, maybe people were right about that community. And so then I just decided I'm not going to go in that community, have conversations with those people.
I mean, and to be fair, Hutch did get pressed a bit on like why he didn't want to talk with Queeman, but yeah. So yeah, Cherry chimes in here. I agree. Queeman didn't dox or encourage doxing Hutch, but Hutch didn't make up any allegations. He says clearly the concern was privately stressed to him by someone else and reinforced. Queeman being petty about the label Orbiter and response. Queeman being petty about the label Orbiter and response is understandable, but that doesn't make him right. It's quite boring to stunlock this misunderstanding when their debates on politics would be such better content. I do agree. That's a very good point from Cherry. Like, you know, why cuck the content over this? Tony says, he said it was privately stressed to him. We don't know if they showed evidence and reinforced by BE publishing his info, or when Bad Abanada is not connected to Queeman, which is a very good point. The part he made up is that Bad Abanada doxing him is somehow connected to Queeman. He shouldn't be repeating baseless allegations. So him and Cherry get into a back and forth. Is he not consistent?
I can read this part.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Is he not just being consistent and relaying the same order of events to chatters who insist on asking him the same question? What are you expecting to change if they are both egotistically stunlocked? If the story changed or he started giving less information, I would say that sucks, but he doesn't do that. He's very upfront about what happened and why he believes it happened. So much that the information you need to defend Queeman being maligned as the cause without proof is included, even in his clip. If you don't want him to repeat his perspective, people should stop asking. If tomorrow he has perfect information and can know Queeman did nothing to dox him and poking him for a debate, he would still repeat this exact understanding of why he canceled that debate and remain distant from that space. Be thankful some people are willing to be upfront about their ignorance. Tony responds with,
Go ahead.
He's upfront about repeating allegations of doxing without evidence. I don't think he should ever be comfortable doing that, which I agree with. He usually has more viewers than Queeman, and people may assume he's correct about BE. I understand he wants to avoid the subject, but he's spreading BS. Here's what you do also. If you want to avoid the subject, you literally don't even, like, you can ban the names too. Like, you don't have to mention these people's names at all. Like, point blank, period.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy to do that.
You don't have to address any of these people.
So I don't see him avoid the subject. I see him. I don't see him avoid the subject. Although today, when he did want to go off about the subject, he did do a members only chat. No avoidance there. Cherry's kind of being a little bit too good faith here. I see him explain why he is avoiding Queeman. I don't agree avoiding Queeman to be the solution to the problem, but given his reasons, I can understand what led him there and how the continued responses to this has not led him back. I'll leave it at that. Now, I will say that Queeman is known to being pretty abrasive when it comes to people that he has criticism for, and he never is known for like playing nice unless he like gets a really high profile sort of interview, which is just like good intuition. But for the most part, I would say that he there hasn't been a pattern of people that he's gone after specifically, or even people that have like avoided debates with him getting doxxed. So I just don't understand why, if we can see that Bad Empanada has an explicit reason to go after these people, to go after Progressive Victory, and like Brianna Wu and all that shit, why are we assuming that has anything to do with this tiny little fucking British guy? So, wait, so you had the perfect opportunity to grill me on this in the Discord today, and instead you stammered through, and I'm not even joking in the slightest about this next part, one of the most idiotic arguments I've ever been a part of in all my years of streaming. So Hutch is still, like, fucking heated. Like, Ogre Boy and Acreal and Tony and you have got Hutch, like, steaming. Tony responds, I was building up to it. I wanted to establish that you were overreaching on Plattner and then go into this, which is true. He had an argument that he was making in chat that was pretty coherent. He didn't quite get into it. You could not follow an extremely basic train of thought. It happened like 3 times in a row. That's not true. I understood that you were what you were saying, and I was laying out my reasoning, and you kept making baseless accusations and booted me, which is true. He kept like, and this is something that a lot of people do, unfortunately, is they're just like, oh, you're a troll. Anytime somebody tries to grill a little bit, like depress the streamer, they're just like, oh, you're just a detractor, which is really what they are. They're a detractor, but you call them a troll to kind of like make it a pejorative.
There was I would say I reviewed over the conversation last stream, and there was some understandable moments. I talked to Tony about this too. There were some understandable moments where I could see Hutch, at moments where I could see Hutch thinking, oh, this guy's like kind of fucking with me here.
Right.
That being said, I think it was like an overreaction. And so when I came in after he, removed Tony from the call, I didn't listen to the entire argument. Like I kind of came in like halfway through their conversation, if not like probably like the last 25% of it. Listen to a little bit of it. And I wasn't even planning on talking about that same topic. I was planning on addressing like his consistent like obsession with Hassan, and if he was willing to be obsessed with Hassan about like something as small as that, and you want to attack the left, then why would you ignore something as substantial as like sex allegations or like big content nukes or anything like that, like Ryan Beard made about this person who is substantially worse for the left and in terms of reputation. So I felt like really silly, I was going to have that topic be the thing I wanted to approach with, but I wanted to start it with, well, I agree with your take on Plattner, and I wanted to clarify if we had the same reason for agreeing about the Plattner thing, about not trusting Plattner.
Right.
So I asked him, and he's just like, oh, I'm not doing this today. He thought I was just trolling. And like, it was just like, it was a bad set of circumstances.
Yeah.
That's
and
all.
I know Tony watches Hutch pretty regularly, but I don't know if you had like been watching the stream that day, or if you had caught up with much of the Plattner stuff before that day. But I had a pretty good understanding that Hutch didn't think that Plattner was a Nazi. He just thought that he was careless, because I think there was even a couple people in chat, maybe even Tony himself, asking, and I don't know if it got like just lost and why Tony like. He even admitted it today, and we'll get into that. Basically, that they had more agreement than Tony thought originally on the Plattner thing, but that isn't even what the argument should have been about.
Ultimately,
like I said,
can I clarify what he's upset about?
Yeah,
what he's upset about with the Plattner thing, and I slightly agree with him, where he's upset about like this approach that the left would be willing to take in response to Trump, of accepting like more radical like figures, like somebody who, or at least has a radical past or anything like that, like doing the radical option in response as a desperate measure to like the response of Trump.
Right.
And it
Can I
feels like a half-cocked, desperate attempt that is probably going to set you up for failure in the future. So I
yeah.
think that's a pretty reasonable take.
It's a reasonable take, but I feel like people who see it this way are kind of missing the forest for the trees when it comes to like. Okay, so Plattner in particular, I do agree with Hutch in the sense that he has outlined that one of the things that he thinks is the most concerning about Plattner is the fact that he had supposedly associates that had told him, or that he told the associates, hey, I knew that this Totenkopf is a Nazi symbol, and that he had it for years and years and years, and got into political or tried to run for political office and tried to form a political career, knowing that that could be a problem, and that even if it had come out that he had this tattoo in the past, but he had, like, the second that he started to get into politics, he removed it, that would probably go a little bit different for Hutch, right? So I don't necessarily, and even with people who are defending Plattner, I don't think they're necessarily defending it from the angle of we just need to accept more and more radical elements in our party, because obviously I think that we don't really have a leg to stand on if we're going to just look the other way when people are, saying the N-word at people at, political events that are supposed to be ostensibly left-wing or something like that. But
It's more about willing to accept something that like could be like when you're looking at all the major red flags, the like red flag after red flag after red flag, and you're looking at, well, this person is like appealing to all of my policies, all the things, but people don't want to fall for like another Fetterman. We don't want another Fetterman again. We don't want
Right.
like that kind of thing to happen. Like you never really know is part of the
Right.
problem, is like how
And-
much can you actually reasonably trust this guy? And there's other
Yeah.
like contradictory kind of things coming out where, there's like journalists that are getting like from like specific sources saying that he knew what the fuck like he was getting in terms of what that tattoo actually meant. And also that when he covered it up, he replaced it with like a Nordic wolf, which some would probably suggest that that might be like a little bit of a dog whistle in of itself, or a representation of something like pretty problematic in of itself.
It's still
So it's
coded,
really
but
just
I mean,
like, if there's a
it-
sincere change, people don't want him in politics because they can't be willing to risk it. If like you sincerely change, we'd rather you just be outside of politics doing something like good for like other people, like work at a soup kitchen or any other stuff. Like we don't want you
yeah,
there. That's
and
basically
that's
the take.
legitimate criticism.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is that if I want to steelman the people who are still hoping to support Plattner on the chance that they want a more, I assume he's more progressive, or he probably has better views on Israel Palestine than maybe the other. I don't actually
Yeah,
I
he
don't
called
actually
it a
know.
genocide.
Yeah, he called. Okay, so that's good. So for a lot of people, that's important. So here's my thing, right? For a lot of people, that's a motivating, like that's an inspiring sort of thing to hear from a politician, and it's something that speaks to a lot of people that they feel dread. So it just the same way that the right wing speaks to economic dread, or economic anxiety. I think that does speak to, like, it's a passionate, it's a compelling point. But the other thing is that so it's a compelling point, and in that case, when it comes to the right wing, I think the thing that we might need to imitate is, or the thing we might need to consider, not necessarily imitate, but consider, is that when we're presenting these candidates, if they are saying things in their Reddit post or shit like that that is in violation of their values, that makes them seem like a shifty individual, that's a reason to maybe see them as a liability. But if it's just something in their past that they have not really shown is reflective of their character, that might show that they're a little bit of a dumb dude bro or something like that at the worst, right? When it comes to that, well, the right wouldn't care about that, and neither would the middle, neither would the center, neither do apolitical people. A lot of apolitical people have people in their lives that they can relate to. Yeah, sometimes he says some edgy shit. Yeah, he uses some imagery. Yeah, he does the whole, like, the white race is getting, replaced sort of thing. They know somebody like that in their life. So it's not even necessarily like I said, seeing him as a liability and critiquing him from that point of view is reasonable, but seeing it as, oh, the right is going to use this against us and it's going to make voters turn away. It's like, only if that makes us seem logically inconsistent. But so far he's done everything to show that he doesn't want to be representative of that.
Sure,
And the fucking
sure.
the Nordic shit, whatever.
The concern is that it's a psyop and that he's not actually going to live up to those ideas.
Like you said,
Um,
yeah, like the Fetterman stuff. I agree with that.
Yeah, the concern is that, and also just like what was I gonna say? The Blackwater history is pretty. It's not just like it's like some pretty egregious shit,
Oh,
you know, like
mercenary group stuff?
repeatedly
Yeah.
going back over and over, like for more tours. But like again, like I do want to believe that there's like a sincere change, but it's just like at this current stage, also like if you were to ask me, it's just like I wouldn't take the gamble personally. I'd be like, okay, if there's a sincere change,
At this
like,
point in the game, yeah.
I'm glad for that, but like I don't think I could risk it on this. Like I don't think I could like take the dice and throw it and be like, yeah, like I'm voting on you, buddy, to be that person. You know, politics is like a game of like, like a casually like trying to sell yourself like a car salesman, and like a lot of people, even like some of the better politicians that we've ever had, like at least the best that we've gotten so far, or have sold us a bill of goods a lot of times and don't really live up to those expectations, like Obama. So like you just never really know. I mean, I hope I'm wrong if like he like wins, and I hope I would be wrong in that he actually does what he says he's going to do or something like that.
Yeah.
That being said, it's just like I think it would be like on a safer side to like vote for somebody that doesn't have that past, doesn't have like a Nazi tattoo
Yeah.
kind of controversy going on. You know what I mean? It's just I'm not willing to gamble it personally.
And to be fair, like I've avoided trying to confront like Hutch on stream because I don't know much about this race in particular, and I do, from what I've heard, just kind of agree with his take generally. So let's see, bruh. So I was building up to it. So you cannot follow an extremely basic train of thought. That is not true. I understood what you were saying, and I was laying out my reasoning, but you kept making baseless accusations and booted me.
Hi, how are you?
This is a 9-minute clip. We're gonna get onto that, but yeah. But basically, my recollection, or when I went through and watched this clip before, it was just, it doesn't really make Tony look stupid. It just kind of does make it look like Hutch was calling him a troll and kind of not following the conversation very well himself.
Yeah.
So, and then overboy
I think-
shit. Yeah.
I think Tony's approach on that conversation is not. I don't know. It was just with that Blattner conversation. It was just. I see where like it kind of went wrong, but I just don't think it was
Yeah.
the best approach.
So I was happy to see that even though Hutch did a members only stream today, that he did let Tony on. So I assume you can still see, yeah. So we're gonna start off where Tony joined in today and see if he could redeem himself, because like we both agree that it just wasn't a good angle. He didn't really make his point well. He didn't get into the overall argument, and he pissed him off and made it so that you couldn't get a conversation with him afterwards. So let me
Being a Destiny orbiter.
know if the audio is okay.
Tony, I was hoping you'd come back.
Audio's good.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Tony.
Sorry, I was clipping something there. How are you doing, Hutch?
Great. I'm so happy to talk to you again.
I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic, but I was hoping to talk to you. I wanted to quickly, from yesterday, I understand that you thought I was a troll. I wasn't a troll.
Can you sorry, can you speak up? I'm not trolling right now. Can you speak up a little bit or get closer to the mic?
Is that any better? I tend to speak quietly.
It is better.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like
When he can't speak not
I feel
quietly.
like the way that I said a few things yesterday, I think made you upset, and that wasn't my intention.
Did upset me. That's true.
Yeah. But I feel like you and I on Plattner specifically don't really disagree that much.
What was the argument about then?
Well, the argument was
Well,
I was typing in.
Well, let's just get to the core of like, what do we agree on? I don't think that it would be wise to risk a Senate race against Susan Collins. And even if I don't like Mills, her politics or her age, to me, it seems like the obvious play to take on someone like Susan Collins. So like, that's the big thing that I think above everything. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, we agree on that.
Then why the
I
fuck
also
were
think,
why were you arguing with me?
well, because I was taking a very specific, like, nitpick thing where you were saying that we knew 100%, like 1000 with absolute certainty that he lied. I believe that he lied. I believe it's most likely that he lied about the tattoo, but I don't think we can say that for certain. That was what I was trying to argue.
Okay.
And I wonder if
you
when
want
you
me
were
to
reading my chat,
if you want me to meet you in the middle and say that it's 98% likely that he lied, then sure,
yeah,
I'll
sure.
say that. Fine, sure.
Sure.
Yes.
That was the whole disagreement.
This was kind of a wholesome moment. I liked this.
Yeah, well, it was like, I don't know. I think Tony would say this. It's probably the wrong approach to go over the details of well, you can't definitively know he's lying or whatever. It's like, I don't know. Like, it felt like Tony was trying to press him on that, and it was like, does it really matter that much? I think that's why it's kind of understandable, like why Hutch got mad. I don't like Hutch. I don't respect Hutch, but like I can kind of empathize with that idea of like, are we really going to go over the minutiae of like, well, technically, actually, maybe that guy's not lying. It's like,
Right. I think it was that I think Tony was trying to get into the minutia of the source, and this is something that I kind of care about, but a lot of people have a difficult time like following my train of thought when I'm trying to get them to understand. So if you're reading a report on something and it's a source saying that somebody said something, or if it's two people recollecting a conversation in text, that is still like a secondary source, and I think that's kind of more what he was trying to get at. Like, oh, did you read the Reddit? Even I think with the totem conf thing, I think that the Reddit thread might not have even specifically referenced the totem conf, because even if you look in the article, it says that he was talking about the totem conf symbol in a Reddit thread, which maybe he made a comment offhand, like about a Punisher symbol or something like that. Anyways, keep going.
That doesn't. You nitpicked? You joined the thing just to nitpick me on that?
Well, no, I wanted to talk about the Queeman thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that on Twitter.
It did show up in my mentions, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, can I pull up let me pull up the tweet.
Sure.
Because I gotta say, you sound very different on Twitter than you do when you talk to me.
How do you mean?
Well, so for example, if I pull up this tweet here, after cowering from Kuimon and demanding that he repeat Hutchinson's delusion that he isn't a Destiny orbiter, Hutch is making up doxing allegations against Kuimon's community.
I forgot that they kind of go through it a little bit too. So.
Some liar, probably not so erudite, told him privately, does Hutch forget it was BE who posted his info? So this is very
aggressive.
What?
Yeah,
I would say
he's much more confrontational. I mean, he can't have his same affect, I guess, in text.
Like,
here's the problem, and here's the problem with what Hutch is going to criticize him over, and I should know from experience of multiple different calls that I've had with these scumfucks, like not so erudite,
yeah,
or anyone else, is when you get highly aggressive with people, they get like they'll just boot you.
Yeah, they just do
So-
Fortress Arc. Yeah,
There's like almost no happy medium, and this is what annoyed me about like JStock, like trying to criticize me on like, you came off as like super like soft, or like you couldn't convey yourself well, or nervous or whatever when you were going after Destiny. It's like dude, and that kind of setting,
yeah,
that's like a whole different environment. And then you have to like take like 20 other different things into consideration of how, if you're like talking to like a extremely popular figure, or a popular enough figure with like a community behind them, you're thinking about your image and how it's going to be tainted if like you go too aggressive in this specific way. You don't want to look like a liar to people who spin narratives. There's tons of different things. Things can be misinterpreted sincerely. There's like so many different things to take into consideration. So
Anytime
there's
you're
like,
going on when you're like a nobody and you're going on a large streamer's like platform to debate them, it is like the most difficult kind of ego combat that you can do. It's like you
so
have to
there's like
understand that. Yeah, go on.
so there's like the approach of like, wow, I really don't like this person, but if I want to go confront them, at least in the beginning, you're gonna try to go for like a polite, calm, civilized, good faith thing. Not only because it's better for you to like stay in the call and have like the potential for, if you wanted to get highly aggressive, you can earn that moment over time, build up to
Mhm.
that. But also so that like, you know, you can also have like you don't even have to intend for this to happen. Like the bad faith person will do it themselves. So like the self-protective ego of someone like Hutch will do it himself. They'll start misinterpreting your words and stuff like that, and you can get aggressive then, like in a
Right.
natural setting. So it's really just like,
It,
of course, on Twitter you're gonna
yeah.
like be aggressive, but when you go into the call and like with the person with the whole platform being able to kick you out at whim because they're sensitive or whatever, you want to start off with
There's
a
less
nice
eyes
polite
on
approach.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the streamer's gonna start getting gassed up by their chat too, and when they get it like, and this is the problem of people who defend this sort of behavior from streamers, because I do think it makes them look kind of weak, but they can always get away with it. Like it just, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you should like why they feel so threatened or why they feel the need to do that in the first place. Like I don't know. Yeah. So let's.
Hostile.
I had a deeper train of thought, but I completely lost it.
On this,
well,
you,
but then
here you were posting, you were repeating doxing allegations that are baseless.
but then
That
you
upsets me.
but then you come into the Discord and you sound like a little sheepish.
Unless I'm trying to be friendly and civil.
Why are you trying to be friendly and civil, but you have a totally different tone in the tweets? Like, what's going on there?
Because I want to get to the conversation and not be kicked out of the conversation.
Okay, let's get to the conversation. What do you want?
So,
yeah.
A lot of this is going to be about the Queeman doxing allegations. I understand that you said somebody told you in private that his community are crazy and that they are doxers, and I'm wondering if they gave you any evidence for any of that.
It was not a thing specific to Kuimon's community. It was like so first of all, do you guys call yourselves the commentary community?
This is so stupid.
There exists like a broad commentary community, and it includes like a variety of people.
Can I just give you some? Can I give you some feedback on that?
Sure.
I think that's a very broad label.
It is. It's not. I don't think it's.
It's a functional label though, which is like. I hate this stupid fucking semantic argument from Hutch. It's like, well, all we do is technically commentary. Yeah, but there are things that delineate those other groups, like whereas the general commentary community has like a kind of history, there's like, you know, continuity there in the community and shit like that. And that's what's it's just like it's so stupid.
Here's the other thing.
And it's not even
It's
it's not picked by these people. It just
it's not like an official, I mean, maybe it's official for, I don't know where it originally sprang out from exactly. You could probably argue Keemstar, Nick Diorio, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, it's like an unofficial label for like a broad generalized group of drama streamers, basically. There is no like official like in-group thing for the most part.
Yeah. Agreed.
So like going with this like ignorant kind of half-ass like pointless detour of like, can I give you guys some criticism? You might want to change your group name to like something else instead of the commentary community. That's pretty broad. It's like, shut the fuck up, you loser.
It's such a yeah.
It's a good label.
Like everybody does commentary. Like it just feels like
I agree with you. I don't think the commentary community is a good word.
There's a branding issue there because it's very broad. Because I feel like I'm a part of the commentary community.
I'm a fart.
Yeah, kind of. But there's
Yeah,
also
it's a
an overlap
branding
between.
issue. We sell Coca-Cola branding, like commentary community,
Yeah.
like, soda pops. We have like Doritos, brought to you, sponsored by the commentary community. You fucking dipshit. What the
And,
fuck are you talking about?
Ryle tried to like make new
Branding.
commentary work for a while. New commentary is kind of like our specific. If you want like a specific like group designation, I think the only reason that people from this community might be a little bit weary to say new commentary specifically on a stream like somebody like Hutch is because so many of his viewers are DGGers. It's like we don't want you to be able to find us necessarily. We're commentary just broadly. Fuck.
People doing commentary and people with a focus on drama will sometimes also cover politics, and you who are mostly focused on politics will sometimes talk about drama.
Mm-hmm.
So there are these overlaps.
Okay, I just wanted to say I just feel like there's a branding issue there. I feel like you need to come up with something.
It's
Maybe it would be better to do like the drama slop community. And I'm not even saying that as a pejorative. I'm not even saying like it's beneath.
And that's also like what people call like this community in some spaces as well as like drama slop or slop creators, whatever.
It's beneath me to cover drama
Slop merchants.
slop.
You know what's funny too?
But
In this fucking chat here, it's like these people have like literally no self-awareness. They say, when I dislike a streamer and or disagree with them on something, I just ignore them. This guy just fixates on someone having a different opinion. What do you think like Hutch does for a living? And like, what do you think you watch Hutch for?
Not even just a different opinion. Sometimes just a different fucking vibe. He fixates on them.
But anyways, back to your point. Someone had told me in a very general sense that space that Kuimon occupies, there just seems to be a lot of like doxing that occur within that space. Is that even incorrect? Like, is it abnormal for the subject?
Wait, why didn't
of
you
the
look into this at all? Like, why didn't you like ask anyone besides like your dipshit private friend? Get like a third party. You don't even have to ask Queeman directly. Get look into things yourself. Watch some videos about it if you're at all interested, or just stay the fuck out of any of it and don't mention any of it. Like,
he's too busy checking Ogre Boy's tweets to do anything like that.
Communities ire or scrutiny to get doxxed? Is this like a thing that barely ever happens, or does it happen somewhat regularly, would you say?
This feels to me like if we compare this to politics, it feels like saying we're painting with like extremely broad brushes here.
But am I right?
Like this.
But hold on, can you just answer that question? Is this like a common thing that happens? Like,
no, this is not a common thing. This is a thing that happens by.
True. Also, Oz says this in chat. This is very true. Oz saying most of the doxing I've seen was from Destiny. Like, why is this only applied to like Queemon? Like, why is this never like when you're talking about Destiny ever? Why is this never talked about with Destiny? Why is this just like blatantly ignored?
That's why this is a very good line of questioning, like I said, specifically against people like Hutch, people like Lonerbox, people like Not So Erudite. Why are you okay with this? Not only this optical nightmare, but yeah, people do feel a little bit concerned criticizing certain aspects of this community because there's some unhinged motherfuckers that, have way too much money and power.
Yes.
And probably access to stimulants.
Mm-hmm.
In small places who are not allowed, explicitly are not allowed, in Queeman's community, in JStock's community, in any of these, in Chud's community, in any of these places. They do not allow this.
So you're claiming right here that the subject of commentary for Chud and Queeman and JustStock, am I saying his name right?
With JStock, people usually say.
JStock?
APAC?
The subject of their commentary, it's not like normal or common for those people to be doxxed?
What do you mean the subject of it?
Like let's say there's like let's say there's like a few weeks where like one particular content creator comes up a lot when those three and then other, I don't know, are there other people in the commentary community, or are we just talking about these three people? Like, what are we even talking about?
No, they're like people like Nicholas
Here's the-
Diorio.
Here's the inherent problem sometimes with doing drama streams, especially if you're like a bigger channel, is that it is out of your control that whether you found it because of Kiwi Farms or whether you found it on your own and you decide to A-log and make fun of some like locale loser or, you know, someone like some piece of shit like Hutch or anything like that. It is out of your control though that some of your audience or someone outside of your audience will take it upon themselves on a separate site, doing their own separate actions, dox somebody. How the fuck are you supposed to control that? All you can do is, hey, I don't allow doxing. I don't encourage doxing. I don't like want anyone to like, you know, incentivize it. If I see that shit, I'm like, you're banned from my community. As far as like I could tell, like you're done. You're gone. What more
Yeah.
can you do?
I
What
think
more
that
can you do?
The only other thing that I've seen people do in like for example hit piece sort of videos, like the sort of people who do like giant takedown videos, is they say at the beginning, hey, don't harass this person, this is meant to be entertainment, this person's
Yeah.
not evil or anything like that. I mean, the Twitch poll kind of area gets a little bit more money when it comes to that because there's a lot more moral weight when it comes to these sorts of arguments that people are getting in. But yeah, when it comes to drama slop and covering locales and stuff like that, I feel like the most, like, obviously there's a different community of people who touch the poo and like actually try to fuck with like mentally disabled people online for content, and it's not even the same community.
By the logic that these guys go through, like Hassan could easily just say, "Hutch, you're responsible for people doxing me whenever you cover me."
Yeah.
Like that's not fair, is it? No, it's not. Like, that's
Yeah,
out of
like I
your
said,
control. There's nothing you could do about that.
he hasn't been very explicit about like, hey, we don't know, don't mass report Hassan for this or anything like that, or
You brought up
and he would like day one he was like, he hasn't, I don't know, has he directly urged any caution against trying to, you know, dox Hassan or do anything like in real life against Hassan? Because I haven't heard it. And he was,
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
think there's
I
like
have seen
Milo
implicit,
Yiannopoulos.
you know, kind of endorsements, you know, of agreeing with JD Vance about Hassan's character or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what JD Vance has the power to do if you know they go unhinged enough. You know,
on Willie Mac.
interesting.
You know him. He would be considered part of this, like part of these drama creators.
Willie Mac and Nicholas Diorio would be considered in the same kind of space as like just J-Stock and Kuimon?
Dude,
Yes.
does this guy have like only one brain cell? Like, what do you think they do?
Maybe
What do you
he's
think they
not
do for a
being
living?
maybe he's not being facetious. Maybe he actually is just this fucking stupid.
Okay.
I think no. Wait, hold on. I actually am beginning to suspect he's actually plain ignorant. Like, no. I don't believe you. I think if you know how to find food shops, even before, I think this was before Destiny platformed food shops too,
Right.
like more widely, before the raids. This is bullshit. This guy's gaslighting us. If
Yeah,
you know
there's
who
more of a
Food
Twitch-
Shops is, don't play stupid. What do you think Food Shops does with most of her content, you scum fuck? Oh my god, no? Yeah, no. This guy's
And
a fucking liar.
It's especially
This guy's a huge
disingenuous
fucking
because
liar.
there were a lot of people in the Twitch poll like area that would specifically try to delineate themselves away from commentary, people that just covered general news and drama and stuff like that, because they're like, oh no, we're actually trying to do something good for the world, so we're Twitch poll. And Twitch poll, like that's probably how he knows of people like Food Shops, is because Food Shops has been in this debate space, and that's kind of where the Chud connection comes from, and the Chud is where, you know, Queeman and all these other kind of communities branched off from. So like that's the connection. Like he is just kind of playing dumb. I don't know. I don't really know what he's. At this point, he has to just assume that DGGers understand what he's doing, and they're cheering it on because it's a good tactic.
This is why I say we're painting with very broad brushes here. It's like saying, does being a liberal content creator open you up to doxing?
There's this
from
like hold on.
extremists.
What he's doing is like when like the woman turns off the lamp and she goes out. She goes out the door.
Wait, when she
Wait,
Oh.
is the husband there? The husband's there or whatever. Man, this is not the best example, but like she comes back. It's not that long after. Like and like the lamp is off or like the lamp is moved or something like that. Let's say the lamp is moved. That's a better thing. Like the lamp is moved like slightly to like a specific area that she does not like. It's not turned off or anything. It's moved to another area that she doesn't like. And she asked the husband, why did you move the lamp to this area? You know, I don't like it here. And the
Yeah.
husband's like, what are you talking about? Like, well, you moved the lamp. It's like, no, I didn't. It's like that.
Yeah. It is just gaslighting. It's I didn't do that. Yeah. Oh. Just
I didn't do
deny. Just deny. Just deny.
Who's this Queemon or
Who is this-
Jostock? Like, you know.
Hey, welcome in, Thorns. Oh, I muted the site. 1 second. Shit. Unless there's just silence. No, I did mute the site.
Everybody who opposes, but that doesn't mean that like everybody who opposes these ideas is part of this doxing community or accepts these tactics. Like the guy who did that is reviled and shunned as he should be. And these things, Queeman, J-Stock, Chud, they're all explicitly against these things. They do not engage in these things. They do not allow them. They will ban people from their community for doing it in other places.
Okay.
I know that there are. I know that there is a narrative that's been going around, and these that Destiny essentially made up, trying to say that there's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge with these communities and their associations with doxing. I don't know if you're at all familiar with that, but
no, I'm not.
I think this is kind of the origin point. This is kind of the origin point about where these narratives come from.
That wasn't the origin point for me.
Look, can I ask who told you?
No.
No, can you?
We know. So wait, so was I paying attention? Tony was referencing Destiny or that area, and Hutch made kind of a face there. I think, yeah, it's just erudite.
Did they provide any evidence?
No.
That's
Okay,
the
so-
worst thing. Oh, they didn't provide evidence.
Yeah.
I just gotta take their word on
Just
it.
the word, just vibes.
Yeah,
Hutch
it's
is a
just
very
man.
vibes. He's a very vibes-oriented guy.
Why do you believe them?
I was skeptical at the time, but what I will tell you is that it was not Destiny that reached out to me. I have not spoken.
I don't believe it was Destiny.
I have not spoken to Destiny directly since I believe
Wait, and I see. Can I?
December.
Do you mind if I respond quickly to?
Let's not get sidetracked. Let's stay on the
I just
right
see if
track
there's a
here.
comment there.
I didn't technically talk to my ex. I mean, like, I replied to her Snapchat, but like,
Well, don't get
I don't
stung
wanna
like by
respond to.
don't get stung like by chat here.
I mean, she
Um,
sent me a nude, but like,
yeah, like I opened it, but like it shows, so she knew that I opened it, right? Like, and she kept sending them, and I kept opening them. Like, you can take that as a sign, but I didn't. Like, what do you mean? Because I just supposed to not. Maybe she said something important. Maybe her mom died. Like, fuck.
Just to be clear, I never like specifically accused like Kuimon of like encouraging doxing. And I didn't even have like a strong opinion about where it came from. The sequence of events was like somebody had reached out to me and said, be careful wading into those waters, basically.
Wait, hold on. I'm
Because-
responding to somebody in chat.
Hmm.
Vodka says he only knows Food Shops because Food Shops was an avid Destiny defender during the time when everyone was fleeing aside when the Pixie stuff got revealed. But it's like, if you're watching food shops' content for that stuff, if you're getting like all the information from food shops, you're gonna know who JStock is.
Yeah.
Like to pretend you don't know who JStock is when you're watching food shops' content defending Desi, there's no fucking way. I don't believe you.
No,
Like,
I
I just
think
don't.
so.
There's no
I don't
way.
think so. If you're
There's
that
no
invested in it,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people that interact with
Like this is a guy who has been shown traits of obsessive behavior. So
those creators end up getting doxxed, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I don't.
no. Also, Thorns in chat. Emery is on the line.
It seems fine. This guy doesn't seem like too crazy.
Wait,
I didn't
Emery
really
is
know
what?
much about.
Huh?
Emery is what?
Oh, I said Emery is on the line. I was asked if I'm watching a
okay.
VOD of you watching
Got it.
Hutch. No.
Kuimon at that point. I had watched like one video, and then it was like the next day or like 2 days later that an old doc started to get spread. Now I understand that Bad Empanada had been doing videos at that point where he had been calling attention to a docs, and that kind of like made it.
So a giant creator, you know, that spread inflammatory tweets, specifically calling you guys sympathetic towards a genocidal regime. That probably had less to do about it than Queeman saying Hutch ran in a debate. You know, like that's you know, I just personally think, God, like I hate. He is just a vibes-based guy. He really just he has a position, he feels it in his gut, and he just argues from that position. Sometimes I feel like it's crazy.
Fresh,
Yeah, it just
like
doesn't
more
really make
fresh.
sense.
Yeah.
And I can't remember like
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Like what would be more incentive for somebody to dox you? If they believe you defend genocide for Israeli money or your own like paycheck, they take Israeli money just like for the cynical nature of making content. If they feel like you're an evil scumfuck, they probably dox you for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Or-
saying.
Or you ran or from a debate from like some British twink, like, you know,
A smaller
what would
streamer.
make somebody want to dox
Yeah.
you.
And as we know, like people do intuit, and Queeman has shown in the past that he intuits that he can't go so hard when these larger streamers like. And obviously, you know, who's to say that there isn't a rogue viewer that's going to spread a dox on Kiwi Farm specifically? But when you see a much larger streamer spreading this dox on a public platform and making a direct call to action, yeah, it's probably more that.
the timeline.
And it's like it's just so bad faith to attribute it, man.
But I think the potential conversation with Kuimon was like sometime after the BE stuff, and even when BE started doing it, like I didn't start seeing it like trickle into my like stuff. So it seemed like even though he was covering it, it seemed like somewhat limited there. But then it was just like a couple days before I was supposed to have a conversation with Kuimon that people started spreading it like crazy. And at that point, I didn't really care like where it came from. It just felt like I don't like where this situation's going. Like that community seem like very toxic now that I've spent a little bit more time looking at their fucking Twitter feeds and maybe watching some of their videos. And so I just decided I don't want to have this conversation. It's just not worth it.
I
And
wonder how
then-
Hassan feels every fucking day watching your fucking garbage content that like
Yeah.
takes the worst faith interpretation of any little small thing he's ever done in his life. Jesus fucking Christ, what a pussy.
Yeah.
God.
I privately asked Kuimon, I was like, it seems to be that, you know, the case that a lot of people in your community are under the impression that I'm a Destiny orbiter. So,
Yeah.
like, I didn't, again,
Based off your chat, I mean, if the orbiter thing is that, you know, you glean some sort of clout and by not getting into certain topics and not going too hard on certain creators, you do get like a certain sense of their audience share. Yeah, you're kind of a Destiny orbiter, man. Sorry.
I don't know anything about Kuimon at this point. So I think I'm having a conversation with just like a grown up.
like
Because I've had,
I think the things you choose to focus on and what you choose not to focus on indicate something very strong about what kind of elite alliances you have, or
Right.
what kind of people you would want to make content with had they had a better reputation overall and it
Right.
wasn't so optically bad.
It's just
Like-
gatekeeping. That's this whole brand is just gatekeeping.
Like, it's
I'm just
pretty
gonna-
obvious.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Do you have more?
No, I was just saying, it's like, it's super obvious because it's just like that one statement irks me to this day where it's like, oh, the Hassan dog shot caller situation just reveals so much about this guy's character and how he'll lie. And then he, like, Barbara Streisand affects it and continues to lie about it. And it's just so interesting. It's just such an interesting topic.
Just interesting.
When you
thing.
have,
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Destiny right there with the controversy of all controversies, and it's like not a peep, not the singlest fucking peep.
Yeah, he'll
Gross.
speculate about the psychology of chatters that manage to like regularly one guy him more than this person. What I really hate about the Plattner thing is how optics focused he is when it comes to it. When it's like, oh, like, you know, because maybe this would get used against us. It's like, all right, well, maybe you should speak out more against this person who is a giant optical disaster leading a large political movement that you have pretty close associations with, as far as like even their
Yeah.
personal friends and fucking their fucking just Ghislaine Maxwell's in your chat.
Conversations in private with other creators, even other creators that didn't like me and I didn't like them. And I have been amicable to people in that spot, and they've been amicable to me. I can't speak right now. And, you know, those conversations were, you know, like, normally they go fine. But I said this to him, and he says something like, well, I'm just not gonna lie to my audience. And I was like, the fuck
Yeah,
are you
I remember that.
Wait, hold on, I'm not
The
done.
lie would be
And I was like,
that you tell him, hey, can you say this so like things are smoothed over so people don't get the interpretation. Can you tell your audience this? And it's like Queenman's like, well, I don't actually believe that's the case. So you're asking me to lie to my audience. You're basically asking me to lie to my audience because I don't believe that.
Yeah, about the Destiny Orbiter thing. And it's like, yeah, you gotta know when you were, even, I think at the time that he was getting called a Destiny Orbiter by Queenman's audience, was this around the same time that he was actively like, I don't know, when more stuff comes out about the case, I'm starting to regret, like, you know, speaking too soon about Pixie. Like, was that around the same time? Or was this before or after? I don't know the timeline, actually.
I'm sorry, repeat that question. I'm so sorry. One more time.
No, it's all right. So I speak fast. So when Queeman was supposed to debate Hutch and he backed off of it and cited the doxing, because I kind of remember the timeline of when he got doxed, or at least when Bad Empanada spread it around with the PV stuff. So I was wondering if
I think the docs happened a little bit after. And I think that's why he keeps
Yeah.
bringing it up, because it was like, oh, coincidence, you know, so, like that's the narrative.
So
he's
yeah,
trying to
they
go
were supposed so around the time that they were supposed to debate and then the docs happened. I'm wondering if that was around the same time that Hutch was kind of saying that he spoke too soon about the Pixie case. Because in my opinion, like, you're kind of asking somebody to not call you a Destiny Orbiter stuff when it's direct criticism to your action. I remember that timeline, but I could be a little bit mixed up on that. Sorry if I didn't say that.
No, you're good. You're
precisely.
good. You're good. I was reading chat. I've got some questions. Why would he need to know who Food Shops is in order to know who J-Stock is? Everyone knows who J-Stock is since he was Destiny's #1 orbiter that didn't have a vagina. Like, no, I'm saying that, like, I'm saying that there's no way because he's pretended to not really know who J-Stock is before he's done this. So there's like, there's no avenue if you're a Destiny fan to not know who J-Stock is in some way, shape, or form, especially if you know who Food Shops is and you've been watching the content covering anything about the Pixie lawsuit. Like, there's no way. Like, I just don't believe it.
Right. I feel like Food Shops didn't have a single video, even if it wasn't related to J-Stock's coverage, that didn't also have J-Stock covering something else for like the longest time, especially during that time. Yeah, it is just he's feigning ignorance.
the fuck are you talking about? And then I don't remember how it played out, but I asked him, I was like, why would you call me a Destiny Orbiter? And he said, because I make Destiny adjacent content. Can you explain? Can you, what does that mean?
Well, do you agree that Hassan has an orbit that he almost never talks to?
Well, how would you define?
I feel like this is a pretty good way to trip Hutch up from Tony. I like this line of argumentation.
Hassan's orbit. What does that mean to you?
Well, Hassan, would you? Orbit is going to be kind of a nebulous word, but would you agree that people like Mike from PA, Denims, Frogan are in Hassan's orbit?
I mean, Denims for sure, because she actually like got the invite for that.
So like
Oh,
content.
a good way to explain like in the simplest form of like what an orbit is. I'm sure everyone understands what it is, but just for like layman's sake, just in case somebody doesn't understand, I think like the general sense is, take me for example. Like some people have associated me with like Mr. Girl or something like that, or a Queen Simp or some shit like that, because you know, like I'll come in and antagonize, and it either is usually attached to Mr. Girl in some way, or Queen or whatever, something related to that, like the person I'm antagonizing. It's some like conflict like that. So like in a general sense, it's like, oh, Emery is a Mr. Girl orbiter because he's like in that community a little bit more. He goes on the hotline a little bit more. It's like Elder Drowsy or Smith or something like that, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Like a general, like you don't have to be like overly attached. You don't have to be the most frequent like guest or anything, but like people know you from a general community. So it kind of makes sense to say like, oh, to some extent, you're like a Mr. Girl orbiter, Queen orbiter, or whatever. It's like a generalized thing. Like there's a little bit more of a bigger thing with like bigger content creators. It's just like a general thing in the space. So the line of argumentation will go down is that in some way, shape, or form, your allegiance, your alliance to this person is like, you know, indicative of you being in the orbit or wanting to be closer in the orbit, like to a higher position of, you know, potential power or something like that. Yeah.
There's definitely, yeah. So there's like a, you can say it's a little different when it comes to drama streamers versus politics streamers. You can say that there's orbiters in the sense that lots of people tend to borrow rhetoric from creators, and because of that, their audience will naturally flow to those creators to hear similar rhetoric and like get a adjacent similar opinion. Then there's also the drama creators. But then there's also the Twitch poll people who have the network thing where they'll associate with each other, and there'll be certain people that they're okay with, you know, having in their chat and modding in their chat, you know, other creators. That's kind of like an orbiter. And Hutch, I think,
they'll take talking points or, you know,
yeah, taking direct
talking
talking points. Yeah, siding with them a little bit more. Like they definitely, even if they don't directly say it, they intuit a level of not only audience adjacency, but, you know, just the way that they side on things. That's why the Destiny thing is so crazy. He's kind of like, it's the same thing with fucking Connor, is that they seem to espouse these values when it comes to criticizing other people's shit. Like they have like a contrarian kind of mind, like a contrarian rule set that they go about the world in, criticizing others, but they don't apply it to themselves ever. And that's kind of like, I don't know. That's how I feel Hutch is. A lot of Destinoids are that way. And I think it is just like the whole debate bro, I have the right opinion, you know, and I don't actually have to live by my fucking values shit.
That nuke thing or whatever. Mike is...
They don't have to interact with the person. I'm asking you this. I know that you have talked about these people explicitly as Hassan orbiters.
I would say that
you've talked about Gato Fumador as a Hassan orbiter. Gato Fumador has never appeared on video.
But they have an explicitly friendly relationship. Hassan has boosted Gato Fumador's stuff. They have like a relationship with each other. Even if it's not like a super close relationship, it's like a friendly relationship that they have. Mike and Hassan have had a friendly relationship for a really long time. Mike has been desperately trying to get into Hassan's orbit, showing up in his chat and trying to do this and like calling himself the waiting room. It's like,
by the standards of saying Gato Fumador is in Hassan's orbit, Mike from PA would have to be in that orbit because, it's like the association is close enough. They align on so many positions. I'm pretty sure Hassan has acknowledged Mike from PA plenty of times, retweeted him especially. Like by those same set of standards, it's like the same kind of concept. It may be a little
Right.
bit more pathetic, obviously, because it's a little bit more try hard of trying to get his attention like all the time. But it's the same. It's like erudite. It's like Mike from PA is closer to like erudite, to some degree, where it's like I
In
guess
terms
you
of
can
platform,
hop on
yeah, I
right
mean-
along.
Gato Fumador is just they just have a Twitter presence. Like they're not an actual creator or anything like that. So specifically in the context of Orbiter, we're talking about, oh, you're a Destiny Orbiter. Like it would be
I was talking about Mike from PA with the
Oh yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
room stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So in that sense, yeah, they
Very obvious.
there's like a more direct, I mean, you can even say there's different levels of it. You could say, like, you wouldn't say that Hutch is necessarily a Destiny waiting room, but he is in his orbit.
He is
Yeah.
deliberately like trying to be closer to Hassan and like benefit from that relationship. Like you would agree that that is a very different dynamic than like me with Destiny. Surely you would agree, right?
No, I wouldn't agree.
How do
No.
you explain that?
Do you want me to lay it out?
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Okay. So a lot of this comes from you were responding to Ogre Boy at one point where you said that you should not be considered a Destiny Orbiter in part because you don't talk to him directly. But you and I, we just spoke, you agreed Gato Fumador or Gato Fumador, whatever.
Mhm.
Gato Fumador is an orbiter,
Wait,
even though they don't.
Sorry, can
They
you hang on?
have.
Wait, sorry. I don't mean to be rude.
Yeah.
I have to take a shit. Give me just a minute.
Okay.
Amazing.
Like, yeah, I like how it was like
Why-
Ogre Boy, like talking about his ops on Twitter, and immediately he's just like, I got a shit.
He's taking a shit. Hold on. Let me read this real quick. Vaka says, I can't remember the specifics, but Aiko recently covered a DGG stream from the past where Erudite put Lav on trial for a SA because allegedly Erudite was making fun of her for it behind the scenes, and the trial was to get down to brass tacks of whether it was actually SA rape or just an uncomfortable situation because Lav didn't go into detail. And Erudite was mad that Lav didn't correct the record for Erudite to everyone behind the scenes, despite her alleging she didn't do shit. But I definitely believe it was her who was talking shit to Hutch.
Yeah, that sounds, this is her behavior. It's fucking,
That
like I
was
said,
on a J-Stock stream, to be clear.
yeah, this fucking real housewife, a fucking Toronto ass bitch. I'm just gonna let it play. It's still just silent. We're all wondering if he deafened Tony. Entertain us, Tony.
Nah, he's still there. He's gonna talk in a
And
second.
am I supposed to talk to? Can they hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm guessing he doesn't want me to talk much.
Tony isn't.
No.
Tony was being so polite. He was on his best behavior. He did a really good job. I think he made
Hi,
Hutch
Tony.
comfortable.
Don't talk to us.
So comfortable his bowels released.
Do you know how this
It's like
ends?
being a
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. Or I watched
Okay.
most of it.
brain broken erudite A-log. Don't talk to me, creep. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Davin. Oh, I'm not going to use slurs, don't worry.
Yeah, it was on J-Stock streams, and even Erudite's Black Spartan husband got in there to get some licks in against Lav. No, that they embarrassed themselves there. That was really deeply embarrassing. That was like one of the most embarrassing streams Erudite's ever done. Honestly, she doesn't give enough shit for it. It's just because Lav is so unlikable that you can get away with shit like that. It's actually
I should
deplorable.
mention
That's fair, yeah.
There was an example.
You
one
should
of the
actually
mo-
be put in like a concentration camp for like 2 months, and come out the other side wary.
It's honestly worse when it's always these women that are unlikable. Maybe that's Destiny's strategy with Empath Chen, is just to have a woman around so unlikable that when she starts to accuse you of sexual assault or something like that, you can just be like, "You're defending a Nazi."
Like it was like
mods.
intentionally gross behavior. Like she was like pressing about Lav lying about, you know, a sexual assault experience. So she or like yeah, it was just really gross. It was like some of
That's
the
crazy.
grossest shit I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen that. That's crazy though.
It's yeah, it was like
bringing
it was the I don't know if you ever heard the story, but Lav would tell it was like some guy made her eat. It was like one of those experiences where the guy pressured her to eat his ass. And it was like, I guess I'm just going to do it. Like it was an uncomfortable experience. It felt like it felt like I was being pressured, and I just kind of went with it. And it was like they're going into the details about how like she lied about it or something. It was so gross. It was like, God, you're such a gross person.
Lying
What the fuck is
about
wrong with
what?
you?
Like, yeah, especially when somebody is applying like subtle sexual pressure to you in a situation, and you consider that like you consider that you didn't actually fully consent, or you think that it was somehow coerced after. Yeah, like to grill somebody about that. What is the fucking point?
About Queeman showing
It was to
a
embarrass
clip
her.
in his
That's all.
background. This is
That was literally it.
God,
It was really
that's-
gross.
the thing that was
that's sad.
shown.
Yeah, I think I've heard a little bit about that story, but like, geez,
Actually, maybe I should just wait for Hutch.
no. Tell us a story about a man in the sea.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't deafen and mute Tony, because
Yeah.
you never really know with a stranger on your fucking VC. You shouldn't do this. Like you should just be extra careful. If you don't
It was
trust that person, if it's like a stranger, like you just deafen them.
It was
Forget
Hutch
'em.
or somebody else recently that did this with Kathy. And it's like,
Yeah.
really?
That was Erudite.
Chat, did he
She did
behave?
It was Erudite, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so great. I was just like, I could not believe that. You guys just have an aura that makes the streamer,
You didn't
like,
embarrass me, did you, Tony?
forgetful and need
No,
to
I
poop.
didn't really say anything.
Okay.
I figured you wouldn't want me to talk too much.
Okay, so the question was, just to refresh, what is Destiny adjacent content? What does that mean?
Well, the question is, do you agree? Or the question is, are you an orbiter, essentially?
That's your question. I wanted you to ask, what is Destiny adjacent content?
We could call Destiny adjacent content that appeals specifically to his audience. So we could say that
What does it mean?
we
to,
might say
What does it mean
we
to?
might say
What does it mean to appeal specifically to Destiny's audience?
He knows what
That's-
it means.
Well, we know
he's
that
playing
the diff-
stupid. He's playing stupid. He knows what it means. You're making liberal content that is strongly going against lefties. One of those lefties being Hassan. You know Destiny. If you watch any Destiny content at all, he has an obsession with hating on Hassan.
Yeah.
So
Specifically hating on
it-
Hassan, seeing Hassan like this force of like the left and like socialists or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, like it's actually pretty simple. It's like pretty straightforward. Now, like you could make this argument where it's like, well, a lot of people hate Hassan. So how's that make me a Destiny orbiter by connection? Well, the extra things is the hesitance to actually meaningfully address and criticize something as substantial as sexual assault allegations against Destiny, right? Like being mum on that, associating with food shops, being like plain ignorant about that,
Yeah.
you know, and then essentially like it feels like if I had to be like super hypercritical, it does feel like there was like a random escalation where it felt like, oh, like the Hassan content really cooks. Like I could really like it feels like there's been an escalation ever since he's seen like a rise in like, okay, the DGG viewers respond best to this. So
Maybe
like it's pretty simple math. Like 1 + 1 =
yeah.
2. It
He,
does,
he started he started this stream literally going over the Queeman clip and saying like, oh, this Queeman person and this whole community around him, they're just Destiny anti-fans. They just hate Destiny like so fucking much. But it's like, yeah, like he would be considered a fucking Hassan anti-fan by his own goddamn standards, and by that, like, I think at this point we should not be calling Hutch a Destiny orbiter. We should be calling Destiny and Dan Saltzman and Hutch Hassan anti-fans. Just that. Maybe they'll be happier with that.
Yeah, probably. But like, here's the other thing. I think here's the meaningful difference between like Pisco and Hutch, where for me personally, I don't know if I could like meaningfully say it's the same thing anymore of like Pisco being a Destiny orbiter, because there's such a distinction now with like how he chooses to handle his content professionally,
Mhm.
and like how like I think most of his content isn't like can appeal to a DGGer obviously, but it doesn't feel like it's as built around like this kind of spectrum of like obsessiveness with like certain things that DGGers would be like more gravitated towards.
Yeah, I
Like,
wouldn't
I
describe
think
Pisco as
Pisco's-
a Hassan anti-fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pisco's more built on as like this is like a liberal show ultimately. So
Yeah.
while and when Pisco addressed anything about the controversy with Destiny, while I think I prefer a more visceral, like more transparent condemnation, there isn't like this there isn't this sanitizing exactly either. There's not exactly like it's not exactly like they're like on the best of terms. Like
Mhm.
there is a little bit more of a straightforward like I'm not trying to associate with you, you know, while like Hutch has openly made statements and given signs of like, well, if things like go a certain direction, I could see how this like I can associate with Destiny, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Much
thing
like
for me
And there's a possibility, there's a hope for it.
to wrap my mind around. Because if me and Destiny have very similar politics, which we do, then there's obviously going to be a lot of overlap, but I'm not targeting any audience. I also want to ask, like, how much do you know about me as a creator? Like, how much of my history do you know?
I'm familiar. I know you used to be a Call of Duty guy. I know you talked about how
All right, I
you
just
got
have to
into
say
Call.
this.
Mhm.
That being said, if somebody said Pisco's still a Destiny orbiter, I might disagree, but I would understand still, especially given
Yeah.
the past history. I would
And I don't
understand.
even think, yeah, I think Pisco would take less offense and be able to own that title more to his own audience than Hutch could.
Sure, yeah.
Like,
Call of Duty after the Gore Bush election,
Mhm.
and you were always very interested in politics. You were you started politically streaming more a while ago. I forget exactly. You talked with Destiny not super frequently on stream, but occasionally.
Mhm.
I know that politically you are
you know
liberal.
you know the deep lore. You've done a deep dive on me.
I've known who you are for a while.
Mhm. And so
Um,
you know that I've
I don't know why that line from Tony comes off so ominous.
had like my own career that goes back to 2009, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure we were on the same page about that.
But you asked me how does you said it doesn't make sense, like the notion of appealing to a Destiny audience. You were talking just now about Mike from
specifically to
PA.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Mike from PA appealing to Hassan's audience.
Mm-hmm.
Is he sort of how do you identify that Mike from PA is appealing to Hassan's audience?
Because he very obviously and publicly tries to associate himself with Hassan, be seen as Hassan's friend. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I think so.
There you go.
But would you agree that he also aligns his content with Hassan? He frequently covers Hassan content or the stuff that Hassan And like he covers the same types of things that Hassan would cover on his stream in the same, or in a way that would appeal, probably that he knows would appeal to that same audience.
I would
he
suspect so. Yeah, I would suspect that he
wants to be a waiting room, right?
Yeah, but
he's like an alternative for Hassan viewers when Hassan isn't online.
Yeah, but he has.
If I wanted to be extremely charitable, and I can actually see this being like more real. I think like at this point, to me, it's more of like a fun insult to sling at him because it's like such a like. It's such a thing that gets under his skin at this point. But if I wanted to be like extremely charitable about how like I think I more accurately view him still, is that I think it's like, okay, like he realizes Destiny is just like this magnet for bad attention. Maybe one day like Destiny will have somewhat of a like he'll always be controversial, but there will be just enough of like a wiggle room to where it's like, oh, now I feel comfortable with collaborating and being in this guy's orbit again. But right now it's like what is the best thing to do is to appeal to his audience. So basically how I describe it is like he wants to be the alternative to Destiny. He wants to appeal to the DGGers as much as possible. Yeah. So it's not necessarily being like I want to be the Destiny. I want to be exactly like him, but I want to appeal to his audience as much as possible. So let me appeal broadly to his audience and go hard on very specific things that would attract this audience the most, I think,
Exactly. Yeah.
And publicly made and continues to make great efforts to like be a part of Hassan's community.
Like I would say that Hutch intuits that he gains a lot from not strongly condemning Destiny. He doesn't really gain anything from defending Destiny, because like he didn't have a strong like presence or like business incentive or anything like that. So he definitely intuits that bit of it, which there's benefit to him covering Destiny, not only like for the streamer space that he exists in, but his supposed political project. So yeah, he definitely is. He's
unfortunately, I think he doesn't see an advantageous thing, which is weird to me. I think he sees it as disadvantageous if he covered Destiny in a strongly negative way.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
He has enough of his fan base in there, and I think he thinks that will affect his like viewership in a more negative way. When I think in actuality, like there might be, like you might lose obviously some hardcore DGGers, but I think you'll gain a lot of people that would be like, oh, well, that's actually respectable. I may disagree with him on his Hassan hate or something like that, but it's at least he's consistent on this idea of if I'm going to punch left, I'm going to really punch left. Like I really need to hold people accountable, not just lefties, but liberals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I understand where you're going with this. So go ahead and just make the point.
Well, I'm saying essentially that you do this with Destiny. I can lay out examples, but it seems to me that you have.
Wait, hold on. You can lay out examples of me, like trying to
I can lay out my reasoning.
Be a part of Destiny's orbit, like his community, like me trying to have an association with Destiny, like an actual direct relationship with Destiny.
Well, there's a bit of that with. Do you remember the Destiny situation video that you uploaded to YouTube?
No.
You don't remember that? That was.
I do. So I remember that video going up. I don't remember the particulars.
That was you responding to some clips that were going around of people talking about you. You were characterizing it something like you egging for a position back, talking to like you were open to rebuilding the bridge with Destiny, is what people were saying about that.
I remember the commentary from reacting to something that I had said to food shops.
Yeah, there was the food shops clip, and there was another previous clip. These part of these were examples of building a personal relationship with Destiny.
I
and
will
can
say,
lay out my reasoning for why.
Yeah.
I
I
understand.
will say, I
that-
think this worked out in Tony's favor of how polite he's being, and it made Hutch look even more cowardly and worse.
Yeah.
That being said, I think there was something to be said about, I think like I don't need like strong aggression, but it should have been a little bit more aggression on the particulars of like the specifics of, okay, you know who Food Shops is. Why do you like Food Shops? And then he'll give the bullshit answer. Cause I think he gave a bullshit answer of like, I found Food Shops through this like anime stuff where it's like, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
We know that like you need to like hit on some particulars of like call out the logic through line or the talking points that he'll give, the lies that he'll give out that would like try to paint him as like a, oh, I'm just a silly whoopsie, I tripped and fell on a Food Shops video, you know? Like we know why you watch Food Shops. We know why you got connected with Food Shops. You need to
Yeah.
like hit on the through lines of, I think you're like playing your cards right. I think you're holding your cards to your chest and you're seeing how things pan out. So you're like showing a little bit of fealty, but not like too much fealty. Like you're showing a little bit of loyalty, but you don't want to be like super open about it, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing on the margins. Plausible
but you've
deniability.
responded. I've looked through your response.
Yes.
I think your response is misleading. I see that I know there's a bit of a delay on stream.
Here, we're at timestamp is 2:39:54. Do you want to stream the video instead? You can use the pause and I'm gonna go make myself some coffee real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can do that one. 2:39:54.
Yeah.
Stomp.
All right, let me get this set up on my end.
Let me pull it up on my own.
I'm giving you the aux cable, the steering wheel.
Can you give me the direct link to this? I think he took it down.
Yeah.
Or is it right here? No, yeah, give me the direct link to it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm grabbing it. I was getting the
Yeah, thanks.
timestamp.
Appreciate it.
I feel like I need
Jeez,
5
man.
monitors to
Wait.
actually stream effectively. I get lost.
Chill on this. Jeez. 2:39:50. There it is. Let me check something. Me.
Then just stream it in Discord and I can put it on my stream too and it'll be good.
I'm trying to remember how I. Now I don't have to share the thing. How I turn off the How do I do this again for the streamer mode? I think I found it actually. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Should work. There we go. Yep. Let me share my screen.
Sick.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Let me.
But I see you making faces.
I thought that I had made myself like very clear about that. And I think if I feel like you would be vindicated if at some point from the time of all that discourse until now, I started to like actively try to establish a working relationship with Destiny. Which
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Tony's angle here. Is it's super easy. This is what happened to Mr. Girl. This is what happens to like anyone that like goes into the meta of like the inner dynamics of like establishing like specific like streamer relationships with other people for business reasons, like for cynical reasons, is you have to go into the inner like workings of people's minds and intentions and how like all these things operate
Yeah.
and play out. So this is true, where Hutch is like, I feel like you would have a better point if like you could see examples of me actually trying to like connect with Destiny himself right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Like
There
at this
needs to be a
very
direct-
moment, part of the problem is you almost need to kind of go more aggressive with specific like decisions that he's made, and not just this vague nebulous kind of like idea of like, well, I mean, like you've worked with him here or there or whatever. Like you need to hit hard on the very specific things that he chooses to not say, and who he chooses to focus in on, like I just said with the Hassan stuff.
Right.
And like
That's
make
why-
that a very transparent thing of like, I think you're like treating one specific person extremely unfairly, and the other person a lot the other person with like kids gloves. And there's a reason, because you guys share the same politics and you're a fan. It's pretty clear from like the behavior exhibited and the past things you've said and the way you've like put on your kids gloves and treated each situation, even though it's extremely serious, way more serious and way more like harmful than the other. Like I think that's pretty transparently clear. So you, like the way Tony approaches this is I don't think it's enough. Like to like if you wanted to convince other people, I think like that probably shouldn't be the end all be all. But like if you did want to convince any like Hutch people or any other person that was like on the fence or something about this kind of behavior, you kind of like need to go into like hardcore of like double standards. Like you really need to
Right.
make that more transparently clear than ever.
Hutch got him on the back foot, like by getting into this immediate semantic debate about the whole Destiny orbiter. If I had been Tony, I would have immediately reframed like, okay, maybe just the same way that on Twitter, you know, I'm spicy sometimes. You know, I'm not gonna make you own up to the Destiny orbiter, but like I said before, calling him a Hassan anti-fan and putting him in the same group as Destiny because of that might have been a better way to frame it, right? Or saying like you're like you said before, you're prioritizing this one thing and aligning yourself with these people who are actively all going against leftists at the same time, you know. So yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be semi-AFK, so I'm not gonna be here. You can prattle on. I'll let you know if I'm here.
That is just obviously not happened.
No, that hasn't happened. The reason that hasn't happened is because he had that additional controversy where
Oh, actually, let me pull up let me play it while we're doing this.
well, you know, he was caught retaining material that was illegal.
You're claiming that I would have reached out and tried to collaborate with him again had it not been for the Rose stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's my belief.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain why I think the reasoning you gave in your response to these clips wasn't very good?
This is all a bit silly, don't you think?
It gets too much into the particulars of that stuff. You need the angle should be because I think if Hutch didn't rage quit, honestly, Hutch could have taken advantage of this way better. The angle should be like, isn't that interesting? Like this kind of behavior. Why are we hesitant on this? Like, why are we on criticizing like very condemn? Like, why haven't we mentioned the Ethan Destiny beef? Why was it ignored? Why did we just ignore this? This was a thing. Did he even mention this? Ethan Klein, Destiny. Did I miss it? Maybe I did. Maybe like I could be wrong, but this was the last time. This was 2 months ago. But so it's like you're aligned with Ethan Klein, right, against Hassan, but you're not aligned with Ethan Klein against Destiny.
Curious.
Curious.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't cover that sort of
Notable.
stuff. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's what he doesn't cover. Yeah.
So like
the fucking empath chin. The empath chin stuff sort of been right in his wheelhouse of like we need to shape up if we're gonna beat the Republicans. Like,
Yeah.
God.
It's like connecting the dots of like only the snarker, only a true snarker or snarkers could, the passive person who just kind of watches casually will miss these things. I just want my drama slop. I just want my talk. I don't want to think deeply about any of this. I just want my spoon-fed content nuke. I don't want to think too strong. I just know Hassan bad, or I just know Destiny bad. Like the simplified versions. But like the people that are snarking you, that are obsessing over this and the great detail, because it's interesting. That's what makes it interesting. Calling out the lies, right? Like because Hassan's shock collar thing is so interesting, Hutch. Because like it's like calling out somebody's like repeated lies. Isn't it interesting? Like how that works. Like that's what's so interesting.
Almost as a person that shows himself to have zero integrity. Wow, it's a problem all of a sudden.
The noticer is called the schizo or obsessed. But the noticer is pointing out things that that are actually correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'm good. I'm just going to lay it out. I understand that you don't like the label Orbiter. You talk a bunch of times in the video
never
about
liked
how
that label.
You don't like that specific label. You've been doing your own content for 15 years. I see a lot of the same names in your chat that are DGGers. I know that you have a common audience with him, significant common audience with him.
So that I don't know about significant, but like that I've had like conflict with DGG.
Yes, I know that
in the last like couple months, right?
Like this is the kind of conflict where it's like a disagreement. It's like when Erudite has conflict with DGG. It's like, like they're mad at me for like a disagreement I have with Destiny. That's about it. It's not even like, at least at that point, it could end up like that, depending on the choices you make.
No.
But it's not like a serious like conflict. It's not like this makes it like a general statement about how like I'm not with them. I disagreed with them. That's yeah, obviously you're gonna have your disagreements. This doesn't really negate whether or not you're an orbiter,
Yeah. How you move.
Yes, I remember that when you were disagreeing with Destiny over the
you really know
like the disavowing
lore.
violence thing. Yeah, I've been putting together a video on this actually.
It's the violence. It wasn't it was the rhetoric.
It was the disavowing,
around Charlie Kirk, and it was about more recently about kind of the general kind of gist of it was like people seem to be expressing a desire that the Democratic Party be kind of like match the unhinged nature of MAGA. And this is, and it goes beyond that though, because then it turns into a conversation about, it's kind of crazy when a creator is attacked, a lot of the people in their audience take it to extremes. Or not even that. If a creator is like disagreed with even lightly, then there appears this sort of parasocial kind of instinct to interpret that as an attack. And that's been like a recurring thing that has occurred like multiple times. And I've spoken to that like multiple times. If I was someone that was trying to ingratiate myself with someone like Destiny, I just don't understand how I would be picking that kind of fight with those people in my chat.
It's you're able to disagree. I think you're able to disagree with like one thing and still be ingratiated in the audience. Like that's not really how this specific cult functions. You can have general disagreements like that because Erudite has those like plenty, or like any other person has had those in the past when they were a past orbiter, plenty. it's it's fine to do that. There will be a
Yeah.
breaking point eventually, but like for the most part, you're able to do that and still be within the orbit. Like I don't understand why he thinks this is like a good talking point. It's just not.
It's just when they don't keep that energy. It's like Erudite can say, yeah, Destiny did this thing, it was bad, you know, and I strongly feel this is immoral, and I don't agree with this is bad behavior, and it's bad for our movement. But like if it that's all it comes to, and then you spend a whole I mean Erudite doesn't do this in particular, but Hutch definitely does, where you just give all of this energy. You don't really cover the news. You're not like a politics news guy. You basically are politics drama slop. He's like the fucking ACC of politics.
Dude, like what's really annoying is she won't say this directly to Destiny himself, but she'll say stuff like where it's like it was like her past content. She'll be like, the way like the lefties have been talking about Charlie Kirk, like our left or anyone on the left has been talking about Charlie Kirk's death, disrespecting him after this or whatever. You're not on the left. You're not one of us. And it's like you would never say that to Destiny. Like, yes,
Okay,
Daddy Destiny, I'll listen to anything you say, Daddy Destiny. Meanwhile, he's posting like Charlie Kirk's like actual like memes about him like right before death, like right on his platform. Like, come on, dude.
Right, exactly.
Like you don't you don't stand by shit. Either you don't mean it at all, which is also possible, or like you just make this like extremely good rare exception for this one specific figure who you idolize. So, I mean,
These people just value themselves as gatekeepers. Like they like the power their platform gives them as gatekeeping. They're not actual pragmatic thinkers with their decisions. They're not principled people. They're not actually trying to have like a continued position in politics because they can just be a fucking slop creator. And yeah.
like he even said something along the lines of like, if this specific person what was it, like Hunter Biden, he was like, if I found out Hunter Biden was eating babies or whatever, I would vote for him or whatever against a Republican. That's how bad Republicans are. As like, so like you're just telling me like you have no standards at all. Like basically, like that's basically what you're saying. Like, but you're also saying this, but it's like if like I would be curious if you were to give like if like Hassan was running hypothetically or somebody like on that level of like it's like if it was a progressive, would this apply? Like I don't know if it would apply.
He said that he would he was like the reanimated corpse of Jeffrey Epstein if he supported single payer. Oh, and he thought about it for a second. It was a single payer universal option, I don't remember, but he thought about it for a second. And I was like, wait a second. But you just went to a whole spiel about how, like, the other stuff, other things about a person might maybe signal other policies. Just because they support one policy you like, you're suddenly like
I mean, like, it's already hyperbolic as is. So,
zombie
like, there
Jeffrey
is, like,
Epstein.
a degree to where it's, like, exaggerative of how much he actually means that. But he's already kind of demonstrated with some of his talking points about, like, Plattner in of itself. Where he's just like, I don't know if I would vote for this guy due to any of this stuff, and due to like how people are become. He's so against like people being radicalized or whatever. So it's like, I don't know.
He's entirely vibes based. I don't know. You can belabor the point. He's just fucking vibes based. That's all there is.
There's like no consistency.
Yeah.
It just
if Destiny goes on a bridge too far and you disagree with him, I would expect like any human being to disagree with his take on disavowing political violence, on refusing to disavow political violence until Trump does. I think that would be a bridge too far for anybody. But I also recall, and this is why I bring this up, is because you have common audience with him, significant common audience with him, because when that happened, we saw that there was massive backlash and tons of people piling into your waiting room. Huge number of people disagreeing. The vast majority of your chat.
How many people do you think in that Discord were in those channels at that time? It was like a dozen people, maybe like 16 people?
No, it's more like 20.
This is what you're saying is like an overwhelming.
This is one
Like
of the.
number
This
of
is one of
people?
the.
Still like a relatively decent size of people for a show
Not
like
just-
this.
That's just the visible people that he noticed coming
Mm-hmm.
over for that content. Yeah.
Like, let's do a comparison. For someone my size, at the time, I've had one show that I did where, you know, call-ins were welcome. And I had, and I'm small, I'm super small. I had 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6. I think 6. So, like, you know, for your size, you're much bigger. But, you know, for streaming is like a particular kind of niche thing, especially with politics, especially when live at that time. So, for like the DGG audience, especially, you know, a lot of them don't like. Not everyone wants to call in. Like, not everyone's like a big like call in person. So that, like, for that specific time and place, 20 is pretty. That's a pretty decent chunk.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's like a pretty good representation of like what kind of people watch you, generally speaking, for the most part.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a decent size. So, like,
And once
if we were to
again-
do a poll, especially too, for his audience, if you were to ask, like, do you like Destiny, or like, do you like his content? If you said something like, do you like his content, you don't even have to say like, do you like him as a person? I'm pretty confident like a decent portion of them would be like, yeah, I like his content.
You see them,
So-
like, even during this conversation, if we picked out specific chatters, we would probably see them, like,
Yeah.
especially later in the, like I said, there's some interesting moments that we're getting to.
So yeah, I mean, like, I don't see how this is like this like insane talking point. I don't think this is crazy.
Yeah.
Indicators. This is one of the indicators. Another indicator
How do you? Well, hold
Another
on.
indicator is your chat.
Hold on.
is your chat, which
Hold
you
on,
said
hold
at the
on,
time
hold
was
on.
turning on you.
Hold
You
on.
said this
Let
at the
Tony
time.
talk, man.
I don't know how familiar you are when there's like controversy whenever a creator is like covering a topic. But sometimes, especially when it involves another creator, you'll get an influx of people who will be watching your content specifically because you're discussing that creator.
Now, to be fair, this does happen. That being said, most of the DGGers, I remember this vaguely, so I can't say like verbatim exactly what they said every single time. I remember watching some of this. Food Shops came in as well. There are people from Food Shops audience, which is interconnected to DGG. There are people that are like, yeah, I really like your content, but I disagree with you on this. I really like Destiny. Is like almost every single DGGer came in with like a show of respect. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're wrong on this. I think you're wrong about my daddy Destiny.
Yeah.
So like, there's like just like this big signal where it's just like, yeah, there's conflict here, but there's a respect. There's a general respect that we have for you.
Right. And once again, this
So-
is just this, like, they keep going down these little rabbit holes, all this little semantic bullshit, when really, like, it is just that they are aligned behind that similar focus on the Hassan hate, and you happen to be covering all of these things that he's covering, and you happen to be not disagreeing on all these substantial things, you know? It's like, yeah, you're kind of aligned either way. So it's just pointless. I don't know. This argument is kind of like, you know, it starts off a little slow, and I think that he does get into some more interesting, like, points.
That doesn't mean
I
that
guess,
you have like this overwhelming overlap.
These were regulars in your audience, and your viewership numbers were more or less the same.
Even if that was the case, like what issue do you have in particular with that?
It's part of building up. It's part of establishing that you were, or that you can be considered a Destiny orbiter. Is the shared audience. What's the issue with that?
The only problem with this is like, again, like it just does come off to like some people of like, well, I'm not paying attention enough closely. So like this does come off as the Charlie Day, or no, that's his actual actor's
Pepe,
name.
yeah, the Pepe Sylvia kind of meme where he's connecting all the dots.
It's like the schizo board where it's like
yeah,
you're connecting way too many dots, and it's like, I mean, it's true, but like the average person is going to be like, I think you're thinking too deeply about this. But it's like, it is actually pretty simple. Like if you just pay attention, it is pretty simple. Like connecting the dots, not really that hard. But like for the average person, it's going to be like, I don't know, man. Like you're just thinking too much about this. Like you're overthinking this.
well, you know, just like what's frustrating, what people like Hutch do in an argument like this is they tend to they grab onto one little tiny thing, don't let a person finish a single sentence, and then you end up arguing this whether or not Destiny or you're a Destiny orbiter, instead of like, what is the spirit of my criticism of calling you a Destiny orbiter?
It is very Destiny coded.
Yeah, it's ADHD coded, it's Destiny coded, it's stimulant abuser coded, it's lots of things.
You have a lot of the same audience. You appeal to the same people. You say a lot of the same things. You have the same obsession with Hassan.
Your categories of overlap are insanely broad. Like if I have an overlap
What do
with
you mean, the
someone,
same audience, the same viewers?
if I have an overlap of opinion
The same
with someone,
viewers, you have the same, or you surround yourself with people who.
I can't do this. Can't do this.
What
Don't
a
have the
little
patience.
bitch. What a little bitch. I can't do this. I can't
Yep.
do this. I can't do this. Oh man, like it was. If he had just held out, I sincerely think I could have been a little bit more critical of Tony's approach here, where Hutch could have really squeezed out this like idea of like painting Tony out to be like this schizo person. I think
Right.
I think Hutch just bitched out too quick here.
Yeah.
Like it just comes off as like, to most people, as like pretty cowardly.
Anytime you have to mute somebody, yeah. The only time I ever implemented this in a stream, I was trying to imitate a really funny bit that President Sunday did with Westside Tyler, where he just slowly lowered his volume. He didn't mute him entirely, but just made him barely perceptible to his stream. I did that to Perry once. I do have to say it was extremely funny, but it is extremely rude. And it does make you look like you're losing the argument.
Yeah. I mean, like I've had my moments like that. So like it doesn't really ever really look good.
Mhm.
So but I can empathize with the moment. I can empathize with the moment, especially if you don't respect the person that you're doing it to, where you're clearly like just not engaging in an actual conversation. So it's not like necessarily every time that I've done it that I've regretted that, in terms of like, I think it was like, oh, I only have like this approach of like, yeah, it's probably not the best look, but it's like I still stand by it in the sense of like, this person was fucking scum. They weren't actually engaging, so I don't
Right.
care.
It's very it's very bitchy. It's bitch made to do it this way, and I think that if somebody is constantly interrupting you and you just like mute them and then like get your point out, but if you just mute them to be like, geez Louise, can you get a load of this guy? It's like, okay, well, like they can't fucking respond now. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I remember one time I just muted somebody and I didn't listen to them. I just talked my point.
Yeah.
And then I unmuted them eventually. It turns out they were like talking over me the entire time. So I was like, yeah, there was a reason I did that, because they were just like,
Yeah, I think he's just deafened here, by the way. I'm not actually sure that
well, I think he
even got
he
kicked.
deafens Tony, and then he stays in there for a bit, and then eventually like either Tony leaves or he removes Tony or whatever. But yeah, he
Mhm.
just at this point he just doesn't engage at all.
For this. This is like so insanely broad.
No,
Like, if
it's
I had-
not. It's actually super simple. It's not that broad.
Yeah.
There are plenty of. Here's another thing. Would you call David Pac-Man a Destiny orbiter? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Would you call Adam Mockler a Destiny orbiter? No. Would you call Brian Tyler Cohen a Destiny orbiter? No. Would you call a majority of like liberal streamers even? There's probably plenty of liberal streamers out there that we never even heard of that are probably like big enough Destiny orbiters. No. We're connecting the dots of a very specific way you interact with this community. a very specific way, very specific decisions you choose to make
In your
about
content direction, and your
Yeah.
focus,
about who you choose to align with. Someone like food shops, who
Mhm.
by the way, I know you're never gonna watch this. I'm too small for this, but fuck, I should have just started the I should have just warned him immediately at the get-go instead of having a stupid fucking clarification question. Hopefully I can actually still get, because I didn't get banned from his server. Hopefully I can actually go into the waiting room and tell him this at least. You do realize that food shops doesn't have the best reputation. Like, if you're trying to do an optics cuck fucking thing, like, you may not actually want to associate with food shops just based off that alone. So
Well, yeah, it's
Careful
because he doesn't actually have a standard against who he associates with on
Yeah.
stream if he thinks that there's a benefit to him. And in the case of food shops, she was covering like it's like he's one of those people that gloms on so much to confirm anything that confirms his bias. That's what I hate about Hutch. He's just so vibes based. But yeah.
Also, like, pondering politics. Has pondering politics associated with Destiny? Yes. Has he collaborated with Destiny enough? Yes. But like another connecting thing is, I think Orbiter implies like some sort of general amount of loyalty and willingness to do things in that to appeal to that community. And I do think pondering politics is not. I don't think he's an Orbiter primarily because not only did he not get started in that sphere, and he doesn't, his goal isn't to appeal specifically to a larger portion of that sphere. He just happens to, but like most of his content is like in his own little like his own little space. So like
Right.
pondering politics, like there's like a distinct factor of like how you choose to approach your content, especially how you start, that makes you distinctly not an Orbiter of Destiny. Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't call Taylor Lorenz a Hassan Orbiter. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I
think.
think people that are stupid would call Taylor Renz a Hassan Orbiter, but that's not really accurate.
Well, yeah, I mean they would. People like Hutch would do that.
Because like
Yeah.
it's like you're like a dimwit. You could say now it would be more fair to be like, well, Taylor Renz is kind of a Hassan simp, something like that. So something like of an ally or some shit like that. Like, you're willing to defend Hassan way more, but it's not exactly accurate to be like, well, that's an Orbiter because like like that's not the
And
that's
this
not
is why,
exactly accurate.
I just hate the narrow focus on this definition. And I think I've even gotten into the semantic argument before where somebody's like tried to accuse me of being an orbiter of somebody, and I didn't want to specifically accept that title, but when they just described what they mean, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, fine. You know, like, what does it matter? And it is really just that he gets triggered. This is like an epic one guy by Tony, pretty much. So yeah.
Well, like, the problem that I have too, like, is that like this would happen, I think, to me or whatever, with one thing that I did where it was just like, oh, like, it's like somebody was like, oh, we should kick this guy out of this community or whatever. It's like, I'm not really a part of this community. I'm like just some random schmuck that like hangs around, but like to me there is like no, like, to me it's like not a strict community, if that makes sense. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm in these spaces, but there isn't like this, like, it's not like a gang or whatever. Like, this is not how I see any of the space. It's like, I think it's all just a bunch of individuals, like, kind of like here or there, collaborating here or there, but it's not like this, like, dedicated, like, I'm part of this gang or some shit, like this gay little team sport. Like, if
Right.
someone like Queeman does something absolutely reprehensible, or J-Stock actually, which I have, J-Stock,
Right.
yeah, or any other person that like I was even remotely friendly with, like, obviously I'm going to criticize extremely heavily on my own accord. So I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
And do you think that, like, would you say that you have a specific like project with your streaming? Like, do you have a focus that you try to stick to, or what's your, I don't know, what's your motive with what you do?
It's like drama politics. It's like whatever I'm interested in. It's like a hobby to me. But like essentially, if like on the politics angle or whatever, like and intermixing this with the drama stuff, it's like generally, like, I've argued with Rezi about this, where it's just like this idea of like, I think if you're going to talk about like most of these issues, especially like if you're going to talk about these issues, I think like you're going to want to, like, say you're a lefty or like really any political leaning, but like if you actually deeply cared about changing the world in some small way, even like in the tiniest bit, if you actually cared about any of this stuff at all, like you're gonna want to like broadly relay your message of like your ideology, your feelings on the matter, and like really try to sell it ultimately. So I had that argument with like Resi or whatever, where it feels like this thing that happens is that people will be a little bit more apathetic when addressing some of these dramas or whatever, and not really get to the like meat and potatoes of like some of the actual systemic issues of like
Right. Yeah.
what causes all these things, and
They don't
what
relate
makes
it to
people do
something.
what they're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Mhm. It also becomes too
So-
insular. I think that's the problem too, when you end up defending your friends too much, or when you have quote unquote streamer friends that you have to take sides on because of this shared audience. You should feel comfortable criticizing people and saying like, yeah, this is fucked up. But to that point, I think something that commentary might engage in a little bit more than other spaces specifically is that they will kind of almost be dehumanizing, and they'll use moralizing language when they are attacking people, criticizing them, for, sometimes it is a legitimately harmful thing that they're doing, like they're violating somebody's consent, they're committing a crime. But in other cases, it's just like, this person is distasteful, this person has, engaged in this drama. So, in the case of that, I think, like, if you engage in too much of that, and you treat those people as if they're evil, if you have skeletons in your closet, or if you have friends, you're not going to be able to explain the nuance to the audience that you've cultivated, right? Or if you do, you just kind of have to accept that inconsistency in yourself.
I think also it's just, for me, it's like I found it is a long process of finding different people at different times that get you connected. But it's like I found Destiny, and like there was an appeal to Destiny at that time where it was like, oh, this guy's like cutting through like the bullshit basically, and there's like a
Mhm.
granular truth, and there is no like hesitation. And so there was something appealing to me about that at that time. And then I think the breaking point of like there was obviously warning like red flags or whatever, and like you kind of see them, and then you're like, at that time, obviously, like with any other person, like you kind of rationalize stuff for a bit, but then
Mhm.
like there's like a breaking point moment. For me, it was like obviously the Mr. Girl stuff, and then you're connected to like this. But like I think what I want to do is like I want to cut through this like idea of like I don't want people to do this to me either, and I would hope God, I would hope not there ever be this point where it's like Emery's like always going to be right, or Emery's like this perfect like display of the truth or whatever, like our you
Mhm.
know like I would want as much criticism as humanly possible um myself, because it's like I never want to like find myself caught up, because I believe that like I think everyone is susceptible to this idea of like getting caught up in like their own bullshit.
Yeah. There's
But like
definitely
essentially, I just want to hold people accountable in my own little small way, at least in my head, to where it's like, like if Mr. Grohl's saying some dumbass shit, I'm gonna hold him. If I think he's saying something transphobic or whatever, I'm gonna call him on that. If I think, like one thing I was really pissed off at him about was how he treated the Israel Palestine stuff, where it was like I was confronting him on this idea of like, I think what's happening is wrong, and I think you're purposely avoiding the topic. I think you're purposely not looking into the topic deeply, and you're just trusting like these sources just because like you just want to rationalize this idea that like like I don't know enough, so I can't call it out meaningfully.
it's
And
easy.
it's like,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
lazy.
like I called him like a Zionist or whatever in effect or whatever, and he's like, he got really like butthurt about that and said I was being anti-Semitic or whatever, and it's like, no. So that was a whole thing where like It's just like I want to call out people on stuff that I think they're like doing wrong or being irresponsible about, even if it's like somebody that I'm like, wow, I have a huge amount of respect for you for whatever reason. I don't want to do the idolized hero worship shit anymore. Well,
Yeah.
not that it was like ever like my main thing, but it was like I don't want to fall for it again. I don't want to be the
Right.
Trump fell for it again kind of meme or whatever. So
I think something I've tried to do too. I mean, if I continue with streaming, that I try to move forward with, and I think it helps because it's kind of like an inoculation, is cultivate the idea of evil in yourself. You know, not only because it doesn't, you know, your audience isn't going to have like an crazy idea of you as some perfect person to where they're going to try to like mass cancel you later, be like, oh my god, they're going to feel disillusioned, but also because like I feel like if you're going to be a figurehead to anybody, you should try to cultivate that. Like, try to see the evil in yourself. If you're going, especially if you're going to be somebody that tries to call out and make the world a better place, like, you know, if you're gonna form an army, make sure you're gonna know where to lead them. You know, I don't know.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
I think ultimately, if like it was like some gay like mantra or like motto that like I would tell myself um, is like just be as self-aware and as honest as you can humanly possibly be with yourself
mm,
and your audience. And like at sometimes I could see somebody watching some of my streams and pinpointing like inaccuracies or back and forths and inconsistencies in my own talking points or whatever, because like I feel like sometimes my mind changes on things day by day because it's like, oh, I'm actually am feeling like this, but then like I can overthink and be like, well, actually, I should feel like this and this and
yeah,
this. So like, what I'm saying is basically like like a lot of these things are a little bit more complicated and aren't as like black and white as you would like to present them as. So like just do a thorough examination. I hate to be like all Brittany Simon about it, but like it's like humans being humans, bullshit like that. Where it's
yeah,
just like,
exactly,
you know,
absolutely. No, you're
like
right about that.
it's like important. It's important to be self-critical and examine yourself, but also
I,
like yeah, I don't know.
I think Hutch is somebody with zero self awareness. Like he just goes through life. I don't know. I almost feel like it's a bubble. It's a disability that he's turned into like a diffability. So
Yeah,
what level is
yeah,
it?
it angers me on a, like a deep level where it's just like I think there's like just specific things that people choose to do that if like somebody else does, it's just you would point it out as like clearly wrong. And like I think what annoys me sometimes is like it's hard to cut through like whether or not they're like deluding themselves or they're like just an active liar sociopath. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to really tell.
I just think a lot of people get caught up in their own sort of righteous cause and they're not self-critical enough, and especially when you have
Yeah.
like a large platform of people that are going to feel gassed up and feel emboldened by like, you know, your rhetoric and shit like that. Yeah, obviously it's going to go to your fucking head. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Have similar opinions on politics or a particular creator. These are insanely broad categories. Should I specifically avoid having particular opinions about things for fear that I might overlap with a creator over here? Like, how am I supposed to avoid
Lawrence,
the
what
label?
level what? Need more caffeine.
What could I possibly do to avoid that label? It would be impossible. All right, give me just a minute. Be right back.
I mean, like to be like completely fair, like he is taking steps to remove himself from that label, but there has to be like a full commitment, I think, at this point for someone like me. I think like a proper way to like actually get rid of that label or like have any speculation around that label is I think like a full commitment of saying, listen, I think this Destiny guy, like, if you actually look at his stuff, he's like a consistent liar. He's a piece of shit. Here's
Yeah.
why. Or,
Even like,
hey, I don't trust him at least. Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, he's, like, if you actually don't have enough, like, I think he has more information on a lawsuit or whatever than, um, you know, the average person probably. But it's like, you need to pick one. Basically, you need to hold 10 toes down on this idea of like, hey, like I actually think Destiny might be not exactly innocent, but like he might be like getting a little bit too much hate. You need to do that, or you need to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna ever associate with Destiny, particularly because of this sexual scandal thing. Like you could say, oh, like I don't want to associate with Destiny because he doxes people, but like I don't know. I feel like that's taking the easy road out at this point. It feels like you're like ignoring something very intentional. Like after that like shot caller, kind of fiasco. I don't know. It feels like a very blatant thing that I'm like I'm not buying it. Like
Yeah,
no.
if he didn't cover the collar stuff for days and days and days, if he didn't cover the Plattner stuff and making it about his unreliable character and being a liability to the Democratic Party for days and days and days, it'd be harder to make this criticism towards Hutch.
Yeah.
And then we're going to continue with the.
So this poll came out when we were watching, which that quite frankly shocked me. Pollster group, but not vetted. There's a thing going on. What?
Also, just his willingness to criticize like Kyle here too, and then blatantly lie about Kyle too, is also like just like an added thing where it's like, bro, like we're just like very particular in on lefties in of itself, and it's like you're going after Kyle for like what? Like he didn't like support some other fucking candidate enough or whatever, and then you blatantly lie about Kyle being like somebody who says like the Republicans and the Democrats are exactly the same when that's absolutely not the case. The fuck
No,
are
and
you
he's never
on?
said that. No, I don't think he's even explicitly. I think he's had debates where he's had like anti, he's had. I think Kyle Kalinske even got into like a debate with somebody where he explicitly got into the whole idea of somebody not being morally responsible for it, but like being able to have the it's somebody else's personal choice if something is a bridge too far, but that it's the fucking trolley. Man, it's all the trolley problem, man. It's all just the fucking all day.
I would be lying if I said it didn't irk me a little bit that like, and I get why he does this, but I would be lying if it didn't irk me a little bit that Kyle does this thing where he kind of ignores Destiny, talking shit about his wife when, Destiny's got the reputation he does. And the only times I ever see Kyle reference Destiny is in like a good way in terms of, oh, he did this really cool thing. He like called out this person or whatever in a very efficient way. And I'm like, I don't know. That kind of bugs the fuck out of me. But like, that's like a small thing where I'm like, I don't know why you do that. I think it's like, to be kind of charitable, I think it's like this this thing that he's attached to is the idea of the edgy left kind of figure or whatever is still
left.
appealing to like Kyle on a deep level, which
You
I
might
understand,
see him as
but it's like, that's not
as
at the expense of your wife's
Well, so what did Destiny say about what is it, Crystal Ball?
He'll take like it'd be like different circumstances, but you'll basically talk shit about her on her Palestine takes or something like that, or
okay.
It's like general like disrespectful comments. Like I can't remember the exact specifics, but it would basically just be like, and he would even shit talk Kyle too, and it's like,
did Crystal Ball ever like respond back to Destiny or like seem like she wanted to?
No, I don't think so. So like that's probably one of the reasons why.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, is that she's like, honestly, she's kind of a harder hitter than Kyle Kalinske in terms of her actual rhetoric when it comes to, especially when it comes to shit like Israel Palestine. Like she's a ball buster herself. I think if she wanted to go 10 toes like down and like go toe to toe with Destiny,
she could hold her own.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to like being a prominent figure and being married to somebody else who's also a prominent figure, there's a level of respect where, yeah, like maybe it's just that like maybe they have a mutual policy of being like, listen, this guy might be he might be an asset to our cause in some ways, and it might benefit his platform and benefit a certain kind of audience, or rather, entertain a certain kind of audience that goes to his content if we engage with us. So they decided not to engage. If they wanted to debate him, they would. So yeah.
I do think it's more beneficial. I think like if for Kyle's goals especially, like he's flat out stated, I'm not interested in criticizing the left too much. So I think that like that's consistent at least. So like Well, it bugs me slightly. It's like that's a consistent kind of thing that you're willing to do, and I respect that in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it annoys me a little bit, but like that's at least consistent. Where it's like, like I get the choice, and like I actually respect the choice ultimately. So,
What is
it's like a little criticism I have. It's not like major. It's like actually makes sense, and like it's not absolutely a necessary thing you need to do. Destiny's already an embarrassment of itself. It's not like Kyle needs to point it out exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I looking at?
What even? So is this? Is there more content for Tony?
I think he
Hutch?
bitches and moans a little bit more, and then we're just about done. I remember him bitching and moaning a little bit more about it.
Where it brings out like this intense reaction, and it is something that I've never been comfortable with. Like I very specifically and deliberately try to cultivate an audience of people that are not doing like parasocial like stuff to me. And part of that, like
Okay, parasocial, that's like specific phrasing, but there is a parasocial attachment to the idea of like constantly, that is your job. Like you're constantly criticizing one specific lefty in an obsessive way over drama related stuff.
Mhm,
Are you not?
yeah.
Like it's like a very specific thing. It's not like even like a political, like there's a larger political disagreement too with where it's like, oh, we want to call him a terrorist or whatever, and you're like engaging in like the worst faith possible. But like
Yeah.
it would make sense if like you're at least still like on the idea, but now it looks bad. Now it looks bad to be on that end because now it's more broadly accepted that what happened and is still happening. I want to make this clear. It's still happening to Palestine. They're still being grossly killed and decimated and raped repeatedly, and their land taken from them and disrespected in all ways. A genocide is still taking place at this moment. It looks bad to still be on that side. So, what can you do now? Well, you can focus on, you've been given the golden ticket. You've been given a golden approach of not having to focus just on that. You could just go with the, he's a dog abuser now. Pretty annoying, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
like comes from experience. Because I had a situation where just like there was like a big blow up. I've talked about this like 1,000 times, but there was like a big blow up within my community of people that were like intensely reacting to decisions that I was making on stream, and they were treating like the stuff that I covered as like a democratic kind of thing. And I was a bit confused at the time because I was like, wait a second, why are the things that I'm covering on stream like, why are people treating this as though this is like the people started to view themselves as like having a role in like what content I did. And
yeah,
was
that's
a lot.
what a community is. Usually you're going to get feedback from your audience.
Yeah. People are going
That
to say,
happens a
hey.
lot. Even at smaller channels, there'll be like a receptive feedback of like if they're a regular, like the receptive feedback is like valid, a lot more valid than it would be if it was a stranger. Now, I'm not always going to agree with the receptive feedback, at that time maybe, but those express an interest of like, this is not really appealing to me, and I'll let you know. Why is this surprising to Hutch? You've been a content creator for how long?
Like it was a lot, and there was like a big old revolt, and some people left the community, and it's fine. But ever since then, I've just made like a pretty concerted effort to not sort of not cultivate that kind of audience, because I'm not looking for that kind of like that level of connection with like the audience. But with creators, and especially with like big creators, and especially with like big political creators, it creates kind of like a fandom and an anti-fandom, and these things can be really intense. And these fandoms and anti-fandoms and like the deep fucking hyperpolarization between these two groups are kind of like a product of like how extreme the...
So you're like appealing to the Hassan anti-fans right now. The DGGers, Hassan anti-fan crowd. He knows this too.
The anti-left, anti-Hassan. Yeah. and it's
But,
a
like-
problem for our politics too. Man, I don't
Yeah.
understand why we can't just like just disavow, but don't, whatever he does for Destiny, just do that for the left too. And I'd have a lot less complaints.
Like, yeah, I don't understand why. Like, like Bad Empanada is able to give valid criticism of disavowing Hassan. That actually makes sense, and is like, oh yeah, like that could appeal to your nature of like, yeah, Hassan actually does kind of make like liberal-esque choices that would appeal more to the mainstream. He doesn't go radical enough for the time because he wants to appeal to like to keep like a millionaire status. You know what I mean? Like there is some legitimate criticisms of like being too soft on Zionist or being too soft on Plattner or anyone else because you're trying to appeal to like a broader base, right? Like that's pretty valid. Like that can work. That can function in a cynical way. Why can't you make those criticisms? I would agree with those criticisms. That's pretty fair, I think. Like we just have to go to this like, oh, like he's a terrorist supporter. Like no. Oh, he abused his dog. No, not really. No. Reaching.
Yeah.
You're being psychotic. Calm down.
It's just he probably
Content creators.
lied.
So-
I mean, there's a lot of people that say like, yeah, he probably lied. Yeah, he probably shouldn't be so strict with his dog. But even Hassan himself owned up to that. So like, at the end of the day, what are you trying to accomplish with all of this fucking coverage aside from just farming it? That's why like Hutch is defined by being an anti-fan. He's an anti-left anti-fan and an anti-Hassan anti-fan. More than he is a Destiny
like Queeman
marketer.
said this on.
But they appeal to the same people.
It's like you made the choice when it came to like JD Vance making a remark. You got excited JD Vance mentioned Hassan or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's actually like
pathetic.
that's actually not a good thing because like if you have like someone like JD Vance, a vice president, like paying attention to all this stuff, like deep and like being obsessive about it. And you also have like someone like Stephen Miller's wife on like a Piers Morgan debate panel threatening to debates to deport somebody for losing the debate, like the Cenk Uyghur thing. Like it's actually kind of concerning that like they've already kind of tried to behind the scenes go after Destiny for making fun of Charlie Kirk's death or saying like controversial things about it. This actually did happen. So like this actually is not good for you, Hutch, either, because you're smaller right now, but like who knows how much they actually pay attention. Like, who knows if they know you exist? What if they decide to go after you next? First, they came for Hassan. Then I said nothing. Like, this is not a good thing, actually. You retard.
Yeah,
like,
the level of alarm is concerning. Yeah.
Yeah.
The priorities, yeah.
Oh, Hassan has a fucking intense fandom and an intense anti-fandom. Destiny has an intense fandom and an intense anti-fandom. Like, I don't want to be in a
intense
position.
anti-fandom because he's a sexual predator degenerate that abandoned his son, and his son became a Nazi. In effect, I think that's reasonable.
And
Where I have an
like,
let's think about the fandom. The Destiny fandom is also, and it's just as well with Hush. Your own fandom is strongly motivated towards hatred towards leftists, hatred towards people like Hassan, instead of like actually having a positive political message. Whereas the passion behind Hassan's fan base, I would say, is largely directed towards hatred towards Republicans. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow, there is a strong anti-fandom towards this rapist or this like serial killer. It's crazy. I wonder how that happened. It's crazy. How did this happen?
Yeah.
intense fandom and an intense anti-fandom. And so I try to do my best to like not have that be the thing. But I've noticed that with Destiny, it seems like there are a lot of people who are principally motivated by a hatred of Destiny. And in that hatred, they go to a place of like oftentimes delusion.
No, it's not delusional. No. I mean, there can be delusional statements here or there, a little bit of a reach here or there. Some people can get obsessive to a stalker level degree, which I disavow, obviously. To doxing degrees. But
it's just unhealthy to I think focus on any one person's behavior for so long. But like this is the gaslighting, by the way, to say like, oh, if you have strong criticisms of Destiny and if you cover his mishaps and shit like that, you're obsessive. Where when he just went over like, oh, I'm not a Destiny, or I disavow him. I whatever. But then he's also characterizing people who are, saying that his criticism isn't strong enough as obsessive. Like, God, he is just like a classic gaslighter.
So if I am covering content that would have some kind of cross appeal with like DGG, then there's this assumption that I am going through my like the accusation seems to be that I'm waking up in the morning and I'm going through like the things that I want to cover that morning, and I'm specifically and surgically like targeting DGG, which is just
here's the friendly, more charitable, read, and probably the more accurate, to be fair, is that you are if you did not used to watch a lot of DGG Destiny content, there was a time where you focused in enough before maybe you got serious into making political content that influenced your decisions and how you conduct yourself on stream and what topics and what kind of political positions you have, right? So like there's like an ingrained kind of like way that you operate. So like for example, an easier way to put this is the way I operate my stream, what things I choose to focus in on. Well, why do I choose to focus on the things that I focused on? Well, it's because I've been in like this general space paying attention to like tons of different things within like the politics drama area. So I just happened to cover Destiny a lot. I happen to cover anyone tangibly related to that, politics, Trump stuff. And then I will cover like drama content creators like Asmongold or Technone or whatever, because that's like it within that sphere as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was naturally always going to be gravitated because I'm like paying attention to a certain like specific thing within my feed, it's what's whatever in my feed. So you have like a DGG filtered feed,
Yeah,
So-
that's true. Yeah.
I don't think
And
it has
just-
to be like this intentional decision of like, I'm going to pick this out because it'll appeal to DGG the most. I think like you already had the DGG kind of brain a little bit,
It's
That's
just
what
that he is
yeah.
a DGGer. He probably still watches Destiny streams, if we're being honest. Like, because it is content
yeah.
that appeals to him. Because it's, like I said, it's the anti-leftist Hassan hate. I'm gonna be a broken record about it.
Sure, yeah.
Man, I want to go play Skyrim.
We're almost done.
so fucking insane. There's none of this factors into my content planning. I'm not sitting here like,
It doesn't have to be this like conscious thing. It's like a subconscious thing.
how can I get the most amount of DGG? Like my approach with content for years has been like I usually like to be sort of doing my own thing. And it's not like I don't collaborate with people, but I like kind of being on an island. Like games and stuff, like that's one thing, right? But like especially like politics, like I just, I don't collaborate like nearly as much as I probably should. To be honest with you, Esme, I think, has encouraged me to do that more, and it's just I just like not having to rely on other people in that way. PZ with the tier 1
machinations of
membership.
my mind are an enigma.
Jinx with 10 gifted memberships.
I think that's it. Let me see if he says one more thing.
Guilty? Yeah. Sid Bexon with the tier 1 membership. All elite memes with $5. This guy's basically saying you're a Destiny orbiter because you're both liberals. These overlaps are natural occurrences with coalitions. Lawson Harrison with $5. You should just own all of this and take the compliment.
I know a lot of
K-Red would
liberals.
be
Most
tier
of
one-
them don't even know who fucking Hassan is. Like,
They don't even know who Destiny is too. There's like
yeah,
plenty of liberals out there that like
yeah.
I'm sure make
Most of-
content creation. I'm pretty sure probably by this point, but there was like a long stretch of period of time, and even now there are like content creators out there that like I could easily say are like, oh, that's a liberal content creator, but they have literally, there's no like hints of ever being inspired, ever watching Destiny, or even liking Destiny for a matter of fact. There's a lot of liberals that I'm sure despise Destiny because he's just a deplorable person. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's just
and they just
kinda,
yeah, like what was
I
it?
don't know, very
Mockler.
disingenuous. Is the
yeah.
stream ending? Yeah, this was supposed to be like a short stream for me anyway, because it's like 12 and I have to be at work at like 8. Well, I have to get up by 8. So I might end it in like 30 minutes or whatever. I don't know if I'm going to last much longer than that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
if that's for the Hutch 10, I'm probably gonna go on to play Skyrim. I had Shuon had stuff to go over. I watched like an anime with my friend the other day, and apparently there's a Shuon head video that goes over like the backlash that anime got on internet spaces over it being like an ideal male fantasy over a disabled woman.
Or even
It's not. I don't know if it's one of her more recent videos. It's the ideal male fantasy.
Hello again, friend.
The ideal male fantasy video. She also put out one today. It's like a, oh my god, are men okay shit, which is gonna probably trigger the shit out of me. But I kind of just want to play Skyrim. You know, it's late, so I'm gonna do that and continue my stream. Yeah.
God, I hate Shuon Head. I could go on and on about how much I hate that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I get in long form debates about her trad wife, fucking anti-female gooner shit with no, she just really sucks at any sort of critical analysis of any of the stuff that she's discussing. She kind of just panders to this vaguely right-wing, not even right-wing, but kind of like a contrarian male audience that she has. I don't know. She's just a pick-me.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any last words I have or you have? I think. I'm trying to think. I thought I was going. Oh wait, I have to ask you this now. Did you decide on what character you're, what creature I'm gonna be, or animal or whatever?
Okay. Like I really am thinking beetle. I have a couple. So I'm trying to go based off characters that are critters that exist either in my garden or a similar environment, like a biome, like a swamp. So I don't know. For some reason, you kind of strike me as like a beetle or maybe like a fisherman spider. I might think more on it. I don't know what you look like. I don't know if you're like your character on Discord. Is that anything close to your
I'm like my
physical
character on
appearance?
Discord. Just imagine that, but like.
I think that's why I was thinking like,
I'm
so
like
you were
30
giving
pounds
squirrel.
less now from what this was, but you know, still,
okay.
it's not too much of a staggering difference. But
Hey, good job. That's 30 pounds is a big fucking difference, especially like.
well,
like
yeah, I was like, what was I, 220, and now I'm like 190. I'm hovering between like 190, 191.
That's literally my current fucking weight loss journey is like identical to that. Pretty much the same thing. It's like, can I get lower? Like that first 30 pounds is easy, and then you gotta like, I don't know, diet restriction, high fiber, low sugar.
It wasn't really that hard. It was basically just you have to. For me, it was just like right now, like I'm hovering around it because it's probably also because it's like harder by that point as well. But like you know, it's the snacking thing really. Is that every once in a while I'll snack a little bit frequent than I was at that time when I lost the 30 pounds. I think if I just like stop that at that point, I think it's like it's basically just hovering right now, which is pretty easy. Most of my diet's actually pretty good at that point. You know, it's just like little stuff like that will, you know, make it slow down a little bit. So
Do you have a big sweet tooth?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's the hardest part, because with snacking too, like I was able to replace some of my salty, crunchy kind of needs for snacking with high fiber, low sugar foods. But when it comes to sugar, especially like if I smoke weed or something, man, like I'm not losing any weight that week or the next week. Probably.
It's mostly just like I think it's like a boredom thing. It's like something to do. You're like,
hand-mouth association, some shit like that.
Yeah, it's something like that where you're like, I'm not really that hungry, but I want something to do at that moment. Like I'm bored.
That's why I picked up a nicotine addiction again, just so that I can satisfy that and maybe benefit from the appetite.
I feel like a psycho saying this, but like in my head, I'm like, man, I kind of want to pick up a cigarette addiction because fuck it, why not? Like,
It just makes you look so cool, man. No, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
not even
Like,
just
don't.
that. It's just like I was like, it's something to like get addicted to. Maybe they'll distract me from my addiction to like shit like this. I don't know.
It's
Fucking
it's
stupid.
it's crazy. So like yeah, like my dad, he's older, he's got like weight problems too, and he recently was just talking to me. He's like, you know, because I have had a similar conversation with him. He's like, well, I'm old and I'm getting diabetes and stuff like that. So at this point, I had to choose between the food and the cigarettes. Which one's gonna be the one that kills me? And he picked the food. So he's gonna he chose death by ice cream, which I admire.
It's funny
so.
too, because like it's really just like the food choices I make. Basically, it's just like I don't even eat that much throughout the day. It's like 1 or 2 meals max. It's like not a like crazy like oh I gotta like continuously eat
Right.
like a hound or some shit like that.
That's why, man.
It's
That's
never
why,
been like that for me. It's basically just like oh here's the bad food choice that I made today.
I have Halloween candy, and I'm gonna
Every once in a while, little snacks. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be bad with some Halloween candy. All right, well, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. It was cool to go over that with you. Definitely. I don't know. Like I need to get better at logging Hutch. I think I'm gonna try to call into him and see if I can go a different direction and get him to actually talk about Destiny a bit more. Get him on the ropes. We'll see.
Yeah. The problem with the Tony call is that it's like you have to be like a little bit more distinct and different with the approach or with the talking points now.
Yeah, that's why
Otherwise,
I'm
it feels like redundant to do. You know.
that's why I'm kind of gonna relate. Well, I don't want to say my plan on stream if somebody
Yeah,
decides to
no,
log a
I know.
random. It wouldn't be the first time that somebody decided to randomly check out my stream because I was shit talking them and then confront me about it. So, all right. Okay. Well, have a fun rest of your stream. Have a good night. Yeah. Be safe.
Bye. Like.
Bye. All right, guys. It's just us. It's just me, you, the pumpkin. I posted it, but yeah, make sure you check out that was Emery's stream. Make sure you check out Emery. He covers politics, he covers drama, he covers, a little bit of everything. A lot more consistently than me. He's been streaming pretty regularly this past week. He does call-ins, he's been getting in some interesting beefs, trying to call out J-Stock unsuccessfully, getting into Hutch's nightmares successfully. So yeah, go support him. Alright, so like I said, we had shoe on head content that I wanted to do, but it's getting kind of late and I kind of just want to play Skyrim. So I kind of want to just do immersive Skyrim. The problem with trying to do Skyrim and other content is that I feel like I absolutely phone in all of the other content. So I think we're just gonna do Skyrim. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me so far. It's a little bit late, but I think I got my flow down on stuff. I've got some other shit that I'm working on. And like I said, I think if I'm covering my own debate shit, if I do call-ins in the early day, I'll probably have a lot more to say because I'm watching these in real time and I have things that I want to say. Obviously, if you're having somebody else on stream, there's a back and forth. You don't just want to prattle on about the sort of shit because like I go on tangents. If you watch my content, you know that. But yeah, good time. Emery's cool. All right. So let's get to the Skyrim. I played a little bit offline, but I'm not too far in the game. I went up the mountain, killed the bandits, killed the zombies. For those of you that don't know, this is my first time playing Skyrim. I avoided playing it my entire life. I knew that I would like it and I would probably get super duper invested into it. And that is exactly what's happening. Skyrim and chill. Alright. I have been accused of being a basic bitch for playing Stealth Archer, so I have been using my magic more. Let me get this set up on the OBS screen because Skyrim is a fuck. Skyrim hates your ambition to do anything outside of a window when you have Skyrim open.